It's part of this homestand against the Yankees. This is game 2. The Yankees coming away with a 12-7 win last night as both offenses put up some big numbers, but the Yankees got it earlier and made it stand up. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne for the Orioles against the Yankees this season. It has not been pretty. They have lost 9 consecutive games against New York, have been outscored 61-27 in those ball games. What the Orioles are looking for is an offense that has yet to come to the front, but maybe some good news in the ball game last night. Matt Wieters, for the first time this season, ended up with a 3-hit game. It has been a very tough start to this season for the Oriole catcher. He is batting just .211 in the month of June, but 3 hits last night and now 4 for 12 on the homestand. And it's here at home where the average has hurt the most. .222 the average, 8 RBIs on the road, a much better .264, 3 homers, and 9 runs batted in. Part of the offense right there in Wieters, Jim Palmer. On the mound tonight, though, another young pitcher the Orioles are counting on.
Yeah, and they really are, and they're counting on him tonight. And, you know, if you look at the first 3 starts, he gets Toronto. They're leading the baseball and home runs, American League. Then you have the Yankees there on base percentage and runs. The Red Sox right behind them. So, you know, what he's got to do is very simple. He's got to do what Millwood couldn't do last night, and that's basically just keep them in the game. So if you're going to get 7 runs and 15 hits, it'll actually count. It's very tough to face the Yankees and try to come from behind because of the back end of the bullpen. They didn't see that last night.
All right, Eddie Murray's had an opportunity to take a look at the bats of the Orioles. Eddie, let's talk a bit about what you saw in last night's game from the Orioles offensively.
Well, last night they did put up some runs. They put up 7 runs. They had a few hits there. A lot of them of the single variety. It would be nice to see a few extra base hits in there. You know, Adam Jones hit the home run, and hopefully he can continue off with CeCe. I think they're going to really have to lean on him a little bit tonight, with CeCe being left-handed and the rest of the Orioles being dominantly left-handed on him.
All right, we'll see what happens as the Orioles get set to go, looking to get out of this losing streak that they have right now against this Yankee team. When we come back, first pitch, game 2. Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Rain around the Baltimore area for much of the day. Games in Philly and New York tonight postponed. But it looks as though we will get this one in. The hope is without any rain. It has not rained since about 3 hours ago, and that was only a light drizzle. Neither team got out on the field to take BP, however, today. Let's take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For the visiting Yankees, it'll be Jeter, Swisher, and Teixeira. Rodriguez, Cano, and Posada. Grandison, Cervelli, and Kevin Russo starts. Gardner's out with a bad finger. Mark Teixeira last night, 3 for 4, home run, 2 RBI.
And let's take a look at our scouting report on the 22-year-old right-hander no-hitter down at AAA after being sent to Norfolk. Another tough start in the sense that he's got Toronto, Boston, and now the Yankees. 3 of the top 4 offensive teams in baseball. It's all about, as far as I'm concerned, fastball command. He talked in the pregame show about that. He's got a curveball, changeup, and a cutter to go with it. And then again, last year they did not score very many runs for him. The Orioles not trailing the last least amount of runs in the American League. They haven't really supported any of their pitchers well as of late. So he's going to have to go out there, throw strikes against the team with the most and the best offense in the American League.
And the Yankees poured it on last night early. The ongoing problem for the Orioles about trying to stay away from those early inning runs. Joe Girardi's ball club now 36-22. They are 2 games out of first place and still chasing those Tampa Rays.
Take a look at the defense. Luke Scott will play left. Jones, Markakis, Tejada is Turris, Lugo, Wigington, Matt Wieters coming off that free hit night behind the dish for the Orioles.
Our defense brought to you by Cisco Federal, a proud mission partner to the United States Department of Defense. Derek Jeter will stand in. He continued his hit streak last night with a single. He's now hit in 5 consecutive ball games, keeping it going last night with the 1 for 4 and a walk and a run scored. Tillman's delivery to him, grounded down to third. Tejada on the line, trying to one-hop it over there, and got him. Tejada playing the natural grass as though it was an artificial carpet as he intentionally bounced it.
Well, Miggy's got one of the strongest arms, but again, you got to understand he's still learning to play third base. So again, an accurate throw. Again, he probably had a chance to plant himself, doesn't choose to do it. Anytime you get an out, even if it's an unusual variety, leadoff hitter, you'll take it.
He gets him. You don't see that play on natural grass, much less on a rather damp night where there's not much bounce to the ball, but it got over there in 2 hops.
Well, you saw it slow down, and I tell you, that place was bang-bang at first base.
Good play to get him. Here's Nick Swisher. Swisher wishes he could play against the Orioles every game, and preferably here in this ballpark. He's hitting .405 against the Orioles this season, 17 for 42. He's had 2 home runs and leads the Yankees with 12 RBIs against the Orioles. And he starts this one out with a base hit. Might as well walk it.
Well, you know, it's funny. I was talking to Chris Tillman. He said, I know how to get him out. I watched film. He said, I'm going to throw some curveballs and changeups. Well, that was a fastball because he missed with a changeup. And then Swisher, who is really, I mean, they're going to eliminate until he proves, talking about Tillman, he can get the curveball and the changeup up. They're going to look for his fastball. It's, you know, it was up to 94 against the Red Sox, but he didn't command it well. And that's pretty much what this night's going to be about. Will he make good enough pitches to get him out?
Here is Mike Teixeira. Teixeira had a big 3 for 4 in the ball game last night. So he's trying to get his bat going for the Yankees. Still hitting just .220 on the year, but as everybody has noted around baseball, that .220 includes 9 home runs and 36 RBIs. He's been productive. Swisher, the lead at first. That is taken for a strike on the off-speed delivery by Tillman.
Yeah, you talk to Teixeira, and he will tell you, I'm not in a slump. I mean, the numbers may tell you a little bit differently, but he feels he had a good May. You tried to build on that. I mean, he's built for 6 months.
He hits the ball hard. That's what he says. Yeah. Even my outs have been hard. I keep hitting into the shift. Some have said he might want to go the other way a couple of times, try and even it up a little bit.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, you know, people have been trying to compare him to me somewhat, and I tell you, you watch him hit a ball hard, and there's no helmet throwing. I mean, he does do a little talking to himself, but basically he comes right on back. And, you know, it's hard to tell by his facial expressions whether or not he's doing good or he's doing bad.
Which is probably pretty good, right?
Absolutely. I used to, that was my main thing, was to try and, not show too much emotions, how high you are when you're doing good and how low you are. You just kind of want to confuse people somewhat.
3-1 strikeout on Teixeira here with a runner on at first base.
See, again, they have worked, and Mark Teixeira's worked the count into his favor, where he can sit on a fastball, and it's up to Chris Tillman to make a quality pitch.
3-1 delivery with one down. Teixeira will take it. He got it in there for a strike, and it goes to 3-2.
And normally, I think if he was as hot as he might think he is, or verbalizes, he would have been swinging at that 3-1 fastball down the middle of the plate.
Tillman has pitched only once against the Yankees, beat them in his only career start. That was in September of last year. 3-2, runner goes. Big jump. Backhanded. Got to go to first. Tillman will get over there to cover. Swisher was off and running on that. There are two down. Swisher gets down to second base.
Well, he's going to be running because it's 3-2. If this is 2-2, he's staying put. So you might have gotten the lead runner, but because it goes to a 3-2 count, he's off and running. They get a runner into scoring position. That game you talked about was that rain delay game late in the season last year, where he gave up a 3-run home run to Alex Rodriguez, who steps to the plate. 4 early runs, but the Orioles got him 10 runs that night.
Rodriguez 2 for 3 against him with that homer. That's the only game, obviously, that the Yankees have seen him pitch, so there are 2 or 3 at-bats per Yankee hitter against him. The breaking ball is way up high as A-Rod gets the RBI chance. A-Rod, on this date in 2005, became the 40th and youngest player to hit his 400th home run. That was back in 05. He still continues on a pace where 35 home runs over the next 5 years will take him to #1 all time. Can he do it?
Wow. He has a chance. I'm telling you, his body seems to be still, let's say, in good shape there. He's not getting injured an awful lot, and that's the whole thing. You got to be able to go out and play ball games every day.
Yep. 1-1 strike count, runner on at second base, and that's going to be to short. As Torres has got it, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Orioles lineup coming up. Yankees do not score in the first inning. 68 degrees here at Camden Yards tonight. Cloudy skies. Let's take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest for the O's. It'll be Lugo, Tejada, Markakis, Wigginton, Scott, and Jones. Wieters, Atkins in tonight in his Turris. Last night a 2 for 5 for Nick with a double and 2 RBIs.
And the big lefty out of Vallejo, California. While he owns the Orioles, 12-1, 300 career starts. That last win against the Orioles last week in New York, that was his 300 career start. So he's been able to stay healthy. And then, last year 198 against left-handers. Lefties hitting at 279. So if you look at maybe what the difference is, he's getting almost over 6.5 runs a game. He just hasn't dominated left-handed hitters like he did in 2009.
Julio Lugo will lead it off against him. Lugo's 4 for 21 with a homer lifetime off Sabathia. And it is going to be taken up high for a ball. Lugo now anchoring that #1 spot with Juan Samuel as manager. He's put Lugo up top and given him a chance, getting playing time at second base. Samuel looking for his second win with the managing job he is now. Here's the 1-0 delivered to Lugo. The off-speed breaking ball. That'll be a strike. The Orioles with Sabathia really do need to be a more patient team than what we've seen recently. Because if the Orioles do not get some of these starters to throw some more pitches, they are going to be in trouble, because these starters have been very tough. That will be taken outside. 2-1 strike count.
And I think part of that, Gary, is how well your starter. You always talk about, well, I'm not pitching against Sabathia if you're Chris Tillman. Well, you are in a sense, because if you keep the game close, you put more pressure on him. And that has been the problem in a lot of the games.
Well, those early runs where the Orioles fall behind make it real tough, because then the opposing pitcher can come out and just throw some strikes and not worry about it.
And you know, we've seen game in and game out all year long, where, especially with Kevin Millwood, who really has struggled, that it seems like every pitch really does have some kind of input on how the game's going to turn out. Well, you give him a big lead, everything, he can relax.
2-2 strike count on Lugo. Tejada, Markakis to follow for the Orioles, and that's going to miss outside. And the count will go 3-2. This season, you see the Yankees pitching 363 by their starters, ERA 3.67. The Orioles, the innings not as good, and the ERA at 5. And that has been a problem for the O's the last few seasons, which has overworked the bullpen. The Orioles will take that. There's a leadoff walk surrender.
Yeah, Lugo didn't take the bat off his shoulders there. Maybe he was definitely looking at some pitches there and giving the guys a look right there.
Well, the defense behind CC Sabathia, Kevin Russo comes in because of the thumb injury to Gardner that you talked about, Gary. Granderson in center. Swisher playing a good right field. Rodriguez, Jeter, Cano, Teixeira, Gold Glover over at first, and Cervelli, the young mobile catcher, with Posada getting back towards getting behind the plate. Probably not till next week.
Here is Tejada, 3 for 5 in the ballgame last night. Tejada fouls that one off. He has had one of the better averages lifetime of anyone against Sabathia, hitting .317, a career number off the Yankee left-hander, and that includes a couple of home runs. The Orioles need Tejada's bat, #2 spot. That's where he's been anchored. 0-1 count. 11 doubles on the season. That one down to third, and that is going to be fouled away. Let's take a look at our Home Depot doing more on defense. Miguel Tejada. Bouncy, and he got it there. Good play by Wigginton. He can even umpire. He called him out. More saving, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
I've been watching Lugo's lead over at first base. Seems to be rather short, and I tell you, CC doesn't have that great a move to first. Actually, most people try and run on him.
A lot of teams doing some running, and that one is foul tipped into the mitt and held on to. Good play made by Cervelli to hang on to that.
Well, that's their changeup. Boy, the key to pitching, Eddie, you know how hard it is when you got to fight off those 0-2 pitches.
Yeah, well, everybody I think is underrated CC's changeup, and I tell you, it's a pretty good pitch. Got a lot of thinking to it.
Is there any way to face a guy like this? I mean, you got to eliminate pitches until you get to 2 strikes.
They got it picked off. Lugo with Teixeira. He'll running back and tag him out himself. So it'll be a caught stealing since he was moving towards second base.
You know, part of picking guys off is, of course, experience. And we told you about this is his 301st start. They've stolen 4 out of 4, but that's not a lot of attempts against a guy that's pitching a lot of innings. So again, it's not that he had a great move. He just threw over there. Right. That maybe he'd be going. That was guessing, and he guessed wrong. I don't think his move, like I said, he was there with Cleveland with me. I don't think it's that good a move. He doesn't really pick off a lot of runners. So the Orioles lose that leadoff walk. And here is Nick Markakis. Nick had a 2 for 5 in the ball game last night. He is up the average to a 290 at the moment, hanging right around that 300 spot on the season. It's the RBI numbers, only 20 so far this year, but a lot of the times there hasn't been a lot of
RBI opportunities for him. Against CC Sabathia and other left-handers, Nick Markakis has been one of the best in the league at picking up base hits, lefties against lefties. Markakis with that .352 average, Cano, Morneau, and then Gonzalez this season. Left-handed hitters against left-handed pitchers. In the air to right center, not playing him there. Granderson a long way to go, and that'll be up and over for a ground rule double. Granderson had shaded him to left field, and Nick drove that one to dead center.
Well, we saw last night he got a couple of hits, one on a curveball, one on a slider. That was in the 9th inning, and here's your slider. So, again, playing him the other way and then throwing him breaking balls allows him to pull it. I don't think he would have caught that ball anyway. That ball's hammered.
Again, it's down in the strike zone with that left-handed bat. Just it seems to pick up a little more speed when it's down low.
So the Orioles get another scoring opportunity, and it makes that caught-stealing pickoff of Lugo loom larger. Ty Wigginton, he had a 2 for 5 in the ball game last night. Ty at 277 will foul that one away. Wigginton knows that when he gets behind in the count, his average drops appreciably. So you see him swinging. If it's a strike on that first pitch, he's going after it.
Well, he's one of those guys when you go over the meeting, Gary, you say first ball, fastball hitter. And that's what he's looking for. If you hang a slider, he's a first ball hanging slider hitter. But it has to be up in the zone. Otherwise, he usually takes it. I think the one thing that he's done a great job of this year, and I think the numbers reflect that, is that he does not usually get himself out early in the count. And that's what a veteran hitter would like to do. I mean, obviously young hitters would like to do that too, I suppose.
Got a runner on at second base here as the Orioles try and get an early lead. Wigginton, 273 lifetime off Sabathia with 1 home run. Cervelli will come up with that one, and the count goes to 2-1.
CC's a pretty big guy out there, and I tell you better get him early, because I think later in the ball game, he's one of those guys that could possibly start to throw harder and harder as the game goes on. He does want to finish a ball game. He's one of the few pitchers, I think, in the game today that pick that ball up and want to go 9.
2-1 delivery on the way to Wigginton. Check swing, but he run around, and the home plate umpire and crew chief Jerry Davis makes the call.
There's CC. He takes him a while to unwind sometimes. But he does have that slide step every now and then when the runner's on first.
He is already 3-0 this year against the Orioles as part of that 12-1 record against the O's. Wigginton will take that ball up high. During this 9-game losing streak the Orioles have against the Yankees, CC Sabathia has won 3 ball games. All 3 against the Orioles as part of the streak. Joe Girardi's staff has really held the Orioles down. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Runner off second base, and they got him. So Sabathia gets the strikeout 2 in the inning. The Orioles no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. No score.
Will be called up to the big leagues tomorrow to make his major league debut against the Yankees. Arrieta was very impressive in the International League in AAA. He had a 1.85 ERA. That was the best in the league. He's going to go up against a very tough Yankees lineup, a very patient lineup that's third in the American League in drawing walks. And if there was one area that Arrieta struggled a bit with in the minor leagues at times was walks. He leads the International League in walks, but Juan Samuel said, we kind of know we're throwing him into the fire, but we think he's ready to go. So he'll go tomorrow against the Yankees. That pushes Jeremy Guthrie to Friday and then Brian Mattis to Saturday. That means Brad Bergeson stays in the bullpen for now, Gary.
And that'll be interesting to watch Jake Arrieta as he makes his major league debut tomorrow night. Robinson Cano standing in. Just red hot. His second straight 3-hit ball game last night. Leads the majors in hits and batting average at .370. So he's gone on top not only in the American League but on top of everybody with that average. 28 multi-hit games on the season. And as we said, he joins a cast of characters who have done real damage to the Oriole pitchers this year. He's hitting .475, 19 for 40. That one in the air to left field. Make it 20 for 41. Gee.
Well, he doesn't miss those pitches, and again, he doesn't walk a lot. 15 walks and 230 count. He reminds me of a more powerful Rod Carew because he can just center the ball, and he can hit it with a lot more authority. But he just has that type of swing.
He has become an impossible up.
And it doesn't matter if you're lefty or righty. You know, we told you Markakis with the best against left-handers, and that number went up, and he's right behind him.
That was a very loud single.
Yeah.
That ball was really hit.
Well, that's part of fastball command, Eddie, as you know. Sometimes, if you get behind 2-0, if they're going to get a hit, at least make it a single.
Here's Jorge Posada again in the designated hitter role, his seventh straight start there. He's only had 3 hits and 24 at bats since coming off the DL for that fractured right foot. He is catching in the bullpen pregame, getting ready to return to do some catching as he and Cervelli will be alternating, and the DH role will be alternated. Robinson Cano will challenge Tillman here. If Tillman will give him a chance to run, he will go. Wigginton telling him to go.
Yeah, Tillman is 6'6", and I can't imagine Girardi's going to send Cano, who doesn't run a lot, until they at least get one out, keep that first base hole there.
Cano's got 2 stolen bases, 4 chances. He more with that lead, he just likes to gain your attention, pitcher catcher, and try and create a little havoc without running by making it look like he might. 1-0 count. Tillman has that high set overhand off speed delivery. He's going to miss outside, and he falls behind 2-0.
See, again, it's if you're 22 and I mean you're just getting to the big leagues in a sense. They tell you, the scouting report, well, let's get him out with changeups and curveballs. So he starts him out with a curveball, ball 1, or a changeup, and then a curveball, ball 2. Now it's a fastball count. And you have one of the better fastball hitters around.
2-0 delivery to him. It is a strike, kept it down low. For Tillman, he started out against Toronto after he was recalled, and he was non-decision, 2 runs, 6 hits, 5 2/3. Last outing against Boston, the loss, 4 runs, 5 hits, only an inning and a third in that ball game. Came back on May 29 from AAA after not making the rotation in the spring. That's going to miss inside, and he works again behind on the count now. 3-1 to Jorge Posada. Cano on at first base.
Again, you got a good count here.
Yes, you do.
3-1. Not really getting that breaking ball over. Could get ugly on this fastball here.
3-1 deliveries up high, and he walks it.
Well, there's a tendency when you try to establish pitches that you can't get over, that when you do miss with them and then you get into those fastball counts, that you got to be perfect, you got to overthrow it, and you can see the result, fastball out of the zone. I would rather have a young guy that's best pitch is a fastball pitch around the fastball. If I'm going to get behind, I want to do it with my fastball, and then when I get ahead, that's when you use your breaking pitches.
Here's Granderson, Curtis Granderson, a big grand slam. He put that one up in that part of a 2-for-5, 2-run win against the Orioles last night. Second career grand slam. The other one came in 07 against Toronto when he was with the Tigers. He's got runners on at first and second base and nobody out here in the second inning. Tillman with the left-handers, 5 for 10 off him coming in. Right-handers 6 for 20. 1 home run each side of the plate against him. In the 0-1 delivery, Granderson will take it way inside. Wieters to first as he got Wigginton in behind Jorge Posada.
Well, that was a little pick-me-up. We're trying to pick him off right there. And you can see Wigginton in a great angle right here. He sneaks in. This is a calculated pick-off. Almost got him. Of course, Posada trying to get that big lead to break up the double play. The ball's hit on the ground.
1-1 delivery. What you're seeing in a throw like that is the impact of Juan Samuel. Juan Samuel wants to be more aggressive in all ways in the game. That's one of the few times we've seen Matt Wieters make a throw to any base other than a base runner stealing. And never, I don't even remember the last time we seen him throw down to first base. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Granderson will take it. Wieters boxes it, and it's 2-2.
Well, being a former first baseman, I tell you, that play is work, and it works great if you pick off that first base coach. You can't, I mean, that runner, he's watching that, but you have to time that coach early in the game to see when he turns to look at the ball. As you see him right now, he's facing Wigginton over there at first, and I mean, he's really got a pretty good angle of looking at that ball, but he's also looking at Wigginton trying to come in from behind him. But you pick a guy off by watching that first base coach.
Good note. Mick Kelleher is the coach down there. You see how he's standing 45-degree angle. As Eddie says, he's looking right at Wigginton. Talking to Jorge Posada, and Posada can watch the pitcher. Anderson again fouls it off 2-2.
He takes that quick peek in at the plate at the moment that ball should be arriving at home plate to know whether or not he has to duck that baseball or not.
Yeah.
But he's right back on Wigginton.
First base coaches hate doing that when there's a left-handed pull hitter up, don't they?
Yeah. I tell you, right now, I would be playing that play for Mick. I would be backing out a little further and trying to get a different angle.
2-2 delivery on the way. Off speed, up high. Did he go? No.
Well, you know, in the minor leagues, you just have to coach first base. You know, your manager's coaching third, and, you know, they'd send pitchers down there. It's dangerous.
That's why the helmets are being worn now.
Is it ever?
By the coaches at first and third. He just keeps it on for the whole game, Bones does. Wears it in the dugout. 3-2. Granderson fighting off some good pitches here by Chris Tillman. 3-2 delivery to him, and he got the pop-up. Shortstop coming in, Scott from left. Scott will call and make the catch. Tonight's second inning is brought to you by Luna. Call today for the Luna Double and get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. Yankees all-time double leaders. Lou Gehrig, 534. Derek Jeter at 451. Then Bernie Williams, Don Mattingly, and a man named Babe Ruth. So that's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
Pretty good players there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, not as good, right? What if Eddie had 500? I'm looking right here. 560.
Doubles?
Well, that's what it says here.
Well, I hit a lot of triple doubles. I mean, you know.
Well, you did have 35.
They were triples, and I just stopped at second.
Well put. Cervelli found that.
It's a lot of doubles.
I think a pitcher would have a harder time seeing you if you were behind him.
Yeah.
So you stop at second, right?
There it is.
And he can't see it. See, we learn things here.
Well, yeah, as you get older, you do learn things.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Some do, some don't. Cervelli hitting at 283. Runners on first and second base again for the Yankees, and only one down.
I tell you, he's done an unbelievable job driving in runs this year for the Yankees. And here's that situation again. Scoring position.
He has struggled, as you see, in the last half dozen ball games, with the average coming down, but still 24 RBIs for the guy who started out as the backup catcher. 452 with runners in scoring position. Nick Markakis will have this one lined up. Runners will play it halfway. Cervelli retired, 2 down.
Well, see, so you have seen a young pitcher, 22. Tillman turned 22 on April 15th. That got himself into trouble trying to command stuff that he doesn't get over, which is his curveball and changeup. And then he gets Granderson, who's a good fastball hitter, to fly out, sky out to center. And then he knocks the bat out of Cervelli's hand. That's the way, if you're a fastball pitcher, you're supposed to pitch. I don't mean in the middle of the plate. And it's funny, when he did the interview with Amber Theo Harris, he said, listen, that I didn't throw breaking ball counts in the minor leagues because I wanted to get my fastball command. So use it.
Here's Kevin Russo batting ninth. Brett Gardner's out of there. Same hand they had trouble with earlier in the season. Thumb is hurting again. And so they're resting Gardner today, and the 25-year-old Kevin Russo getting the opportunity to play out of West Babylon, New York, on the island. It's only his 5th major league season. First major league experience this season for Russo. That one off his foot. And the count goes to 1-1. Minor leagues 300 over the first 4 seasons as he moved up from the Gulf Coast League to AAA ball in the matter of 4 years. That hurt. He said only 12 home runs, 67 doubles, but a very solid average. Double-figure stolen base guy, somewhere between 10 and 15 in the minors per year.
A utility guy, and getting a chance to prove he can play at this level.
Play infield, outfield, and in this day and age, versatility really matters. That one is off the fist to second base. Lugo will come over, and a good job by Tillman. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. What do you see?
Well, we're talking about a power pitcher here that's now going to a changeup in a fastball count, technically. When you talk about a veteran power pitcher who is now using a finesse pitch there to get you in that count of looking for that fastball, and he's throwing that all-speed pitch. And I mean, his changeup is really a good pitch. He can use it anywhere else in that count, but those Oriole hitters got to be taking a peek at that right now. If you get in that situation, you think in that 3-2 count again, I'm going to look for something off speed, even though he's throwing 93, 94.
Yeah. Here's Luke Scott.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. You can look for it, and then you got to hope, right? Luke Scott 1 for 7. The one hit a home run off CC Sabathia. Sabathia, left-handers, 271 with 3 homers. Right-handers, 227 with 9. Delivery on the way to Scott, fouled off. And one of the reasons I was asking Mike Flanagan about this, Flanagan and I were talking about Sabathia before the game today. He thinks, Jim, that he does not use that changeup against the left-handers, and it's one of the reasons the left-handers have been able to have a better average against them.
Yeah, I mean, it takes one of the pitches out of the way. It slows the bat down. So they're looking slider. If you're looking fastball and you hang a slider, and maybe doesn't have quite as good a command with the slider, and we saw Markakis hit that pitch for the double, almost had a home run straight away center field. What it does, the changeup slows the bat down, because in the back of your mind you always know it's there. That's why it's such an effective pitch. Eddie talked about that last night. It looks like your fastball.
2-1 delivery on the way to Luke Scott. Inside with it, and he falls behind. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Well, over in Cleveland, CC also struggled a little bit when he would start to open up too much with his right side. When he gets that right arm up and have that left arm coming right behind that right side, he's almost unhittable those nights when he gets all that working.
Big Scott will take the pitch. It is in there. Scott hitting .200 against left-handers this season and 100 points higher against right-handers. So those numbers are by the book, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, last year he had, 25 home runs, 10 against left-handers. The average came up compared to the first year.
3-2 count from Sabathia. And Scott will be the third strikeout victim.
Another all-speed pitch there. Punch him out with.
Tough to stay in on.
Yes, it was.
Our Expo brought to you by H.H. Gregg. We make buying TVs and appliances simple. H.H. Gregg, price and advice guaranteed. Sabathia now has 64 strikeouts in 80 innings worked. Not quite up to that 1 strikeout per inning ratio. Only 25 walks. Here's Adam Jones. Jones, 3-game hit streak. Continued with a 1 for 5 last night. A-Rod actually plays a couple of steps in on Jones just in case he thinks about laying one down, as Adam has shown a willingness to square around a couple times of late. 1-0, tailed away, 1-1.
Yeah, the combination of a two-seam fastball, which is what Adam just swung through, and that changeup, and when you can throw in the mid-90s is pretty effective, and that's why he won 19 games last year. That's why they gave him a long-term deal for $161 million.
1-1 delivery on the way to Jones. That's away. Adam Jones coming through with the long ball last night. It would be too little too late, but it gave the Orioles a chance. 8th inning, his 7th home run off the season, off Godin.
Yeah, the home run was up in New York. It was a low fastball. It didn't get it in. Hit it to deep left center field at Yankee Stadium.
2-1 delivery on the way. 5 for 19 with a home run against Sabathia. Lifetime for Jones.
He's working Adam hard outside. I'll tell you, every pitch has been right out there, and I saw Adam take a peek down at A-Rod backing up at third base. I thought he was going to try and drop one down.
A-Rod has dropped back in normal fielding position there. Jonesy this year, 237 off the lefties, about 12 points higher against right-handers. Late on it, fouls it back. Asking the home plate umpire if it was a strike. Trying to get a little help. Count goes to 3-2.
Yeah, Jerry Davis, of course, after last night's strike zone, you didn't want to ask the umpire last night if it was a ball or a strike. But Jerry Davis, the regular umpire, and already he's shown that it's going to be a pretty fair strike zone for both hitters and the pitchers.
DJ Rayburn last night behind the plate in a strike zone that moved around a little bit and was big to start with. Here's the 3-2 delivery on the way. Sabathia is inside to him, so a couple of walks. And that will put a runner on with 1 away. Tonight's Maryland Lottery Hit It Here fan of the game is Mark McClellan from Coxville. Orioles player. If you hit it here, you get that sign. Mark, you're going to win $100,000. To find out more about how you can become the fan of the game, visit mdlottery.com/hitithere. That's the Hit It Here sign back of the bullpen.
Do we know how far that is? Does anybody come up with a kind of a yardage?
We can do that.
Playing in the U.S. Open, but I mean the footage.
We can do that.
That's a ways.
Well, I say a few years ago that might have been in reach for a few players.
I would just say that.
What would you say that?
You're saying there was an era where balls were traveling further? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just a tad.
Yeah.
Is that when they went from Horsehide to Cowhide, or was there any other reason? No.
Runner goes, 1-0 delivery. Jones, big jump. Yeah, he's got a stolen base. Perfect pitch to steal on.
Now there you go, 5 for 5 now against Sabathia.
Adam had a big jump, and he had an off-speed pitch that was thrown, and he's got 3 stolen bases, 3 out of 6. Again, Juan Samuel wanting to roll aggressively, gets a runner into scoring position, and Wieters gets the RBI chance. Matt with the 3 for 5 last night will foul that one away in a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, he really had some nice swings last night. Terry Crowley talking about just trying to shorten the swing. and maybe not uppercutting as much. And then, of course, you get 3 hits hitting left-handed, Eddie, and you know this better than anybody. Now you got to switch around after having a good night and face a tough lefty hitting right-handed.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing, though. You're still trying to use that nice, easy swing, and hopefully, you know, you find a few holes out there, especially with somebody standing out on second. This team would, you know, I think would love to jump out on top tonight just to see what it feels like.
Yeah, really. 1-2 delivery on the way to Wieters. He had to pull the hands in, gets it down the line. Russo coming over. Will not have a play. Well, you're talking about not extending.
Yes.
He had to pull everything back. It looked like he was fishing, and he just locked into a big one there.
Well, you faced Guidry when he went to, 23 and 25 and 3. He had one of these sliders like this.
Oh, yes. He did pull those hands in. I tell you, Guidry, I always remember him. I tell you, that's the only bunt base hit I had in baseball in the major leagues in 21 years. It was off of Ron. Oh.
Bet he liked that. 1-2 count. Jones on at second base and a look back. Wieters would love to get the average going here at home. This is, I mean, it's one of those inexplicable things. His .222 batting average here at Camden Yards is the 4th lowest batting average in the American League for a player in his own ballpark.
This is a friendly ballpark, and you just know you got to feel a little bad.
He got up on that one. Granderson, the center fielder. Jones will stay, and there are 2 down. Well, Sabathia gets Wieters, and that'll leave the 2-out RBI chance now to Garrett Atkins. Atkins getting a start as the designated hitter in this ball game, even though he's hitting only .214. He's gone 7 for 13 off Sabathia. That'll get you in the lineup. Base hit here, and the Orioles can put one up on the board. Atkins did not play in the ball game last night. And the pitch is in there for a strike from Sabathia.
Well, I think he's in a position where he's just going to have to really bear down and get some hits here to force people to play. I mean, you know, Juan wants to play people that's getting hits. And right now, he has just got to go up there a little more aggressive and probably flatten that swing out a little bit.
Ball gets away. Jones will go. That'll be a wild pitch. Moving Jones to third.
I think the one disappointing thing that I've seen is that Andy McPhail, who's president of baseball operations, it's going to be a breaking ball that Cervelli tries to knock down and Adam easily into third. Is that, you know, you're trying to plug holes, but you're also trying to get a guy that can drive the ball. I mean, most of the times, if he's not DH and he's playing first, they yet to have a home run from a first baseman. Going into the 59th game of the year. And that's what they thought they'd get. I mean, but even double power, just haven't seen a lot of that.
1-1 delivery away. He's had his best numbers against the Yankees this year, going 8 for 17. But no home runs and no RBIs, and only 1 run scored, even though he's got the .471 batting average. Runner at third base. 4 wild pitches on the season by Sabathia. And that's going to be a base hit into right field. So Atkins lives by the numbers, and the Orioles have a 1-0 lead.
Oh, here's your H.A. Gregg. I mean, this is a bullet to right field. So the stolen base, the wild pitch, and that allows Adam Jones, who probably would have scored anyway, but it would have been bang bang because of how short right field is here. And the Orioles take the lead.
9th RBI for Atkins. Well, the Orioles on top.
This would be one of those plays right here. First move, go.
That's going to be to right field as well. That's going to fall in, base hit. Atkins will stop. Swisher was shallow and gets the ball in. So as Torres delivers a hit, and the Orioles have runners at first and second with 2 down.
Sometimes when you're outgunned, you got to just blow caution to the wind and just go for it, you know.
Now the Orioles love to pump a couple of 2-out RBIs here. First and second, 2 down, and the top of the order, Julio Lugo.
Well, they were, 9 of the 12 runs by the Yankees last night scored with 2 outs?
Yes.
So they'd like to turn the tables. It is kind of, when you look at the numbers, Sabathia 12-1, it's kind of like David against Goliath. Lost 9 in a row. Been outscored, what did you say, 57-22 coming in. But I've been out there when I was supposed to be Goliath, and you don't make good pitches, and they have good at-bats. You don't get guys out.
Oh, yeah.
0-1 count. Lugo drew a walk first time up. Granderson. And he's got it. The Orioles will get 1 run on a couple of hits with 2 left on base, and the O's lead in this one 1-0. You define that for us a little bit when you use that term.
Well, for me, being aggressive is it's on the bases. You know, take advantage, move the runners, steal bases, and to create things instead of waiting for something big to happen. Get a run here and there like we did in this past inning.
And that's what you have to do against guys like Sabathia?
I think so, but also, Jim, I want to do that against any team. I just wanted to make sure these guys know that this is the philosophy that we're going to have. But against guys like this, if we keep chipping away one at a time, who knows what could happen.
Derek Jeter at the plate and takes it inside 2-0.
Juan, I really think that's a great way, especially to attack CeCe. I mean, he doesn't have that great a move at first, even though he picked off Lugo earlier. That should be an awesome way to probably attack the league, letting them know that you're going for it, like you said. That's great.
Exactly. It's going to be no secret. You know, these guys know that I play the game that way, and I intend these guys here to continue to do that.
Juan, how's it going?
So far, so good. So far, so good. I will still would like to see Tillman work ahead of these hitters. These are dangerous lineup. You cannot constantly try to pitch behind on these guys. You have to pitch ahead.
Well, you know, you're a terrific player in your own right, but the one thing is that, he tried to get the first 2 guys out with breaking balls, and at the end of the day, he got the 3 outs on the fastball. It's still a well-commanded fastball, probably the best pitch in baseball. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, there's no doubt, Jim, but, his breaking ball hasn't been that consistent. His last outing against Boston guys basically eliminated that pitch and just hit the fastball. But like you say, you still have to show it. Have that in the back of these hitters' mind.
All right, Juan, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, keep the lead.
Juan Samuel, the skipper, joining us here in our Wired Wednesday. Jeter gets a hit, 6-game hit streak for him now, so he's on at first base. And here is Nick Swisher, who delivered a base hit his first time up. Swisher making sure that he found Eddie Murray before the ball game. Sent an ambassador out with the name of Ken Singleton to find Eddie and bring him into the Yankee clubhouse. Runner goes, throw down by Waiters. Jeter head first. He's out. Matt Waiters, who's thrown out 34% of base stealers, gets Jeter.
Well, how many catchers can throw out a guy, even though it's a little wet turf, on a changeup? And he takes the one look, and there's your. Oh, it throws a little bit high, but look at this release. I mean, that was like Bill Mazeroski trying to turn the double play, the Hall of Fame second baseman. I mean, it hardly hit the glove, and then the swipe tag by his turfs. Boy, is that a big out.
So Wieters gets him, as Matt continues to have one of the better numbers throwing out base stealers, and Jeter's taking off the base paths. But both these managers trying to create a little havoc by running. Well, Jeter caught for the second time. He's 6 out of 8.
Yeah, they timed Tillman, and that's one of the things you'll look at is how slow he is to the plate or how quick he is to the plate.
That's the second walk surrendered by Tillman. Swisher on for Teixeira. Orioles Yankees are going to wrap up this set tomorrow, 7:05. Good seats still remain. We hope you'll get out and see the ball game. 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com for tickets and complete details. Jake Arrieta is going to make the start tomorrow night, so another first for Oriole fans. A.J. Burnett will be going against him. Debut, major league level for Jake Arrieta, whom the Oriole fans have heard about for so long. And here's a chance to get to see him against the Yankees.
Yeah, we will see how 4 pitches with really good stuff translates in the American League against the team with the best on-base percentage and runs scored.
Mark Teixeira is at the plate. Wieters goes out to have a word with Tillman.
Well, he's still trying to establish the breaking pitches and not having a lot of luck.
Teixeira just a 219. Shift is on. Tillman a look at first and the delivery. Why is he a switch hitter? He answered that question before the game. Two-0 count. One down. And takes it for a strike. Here's what he said.
And I'm a switch hitter because of Eddie Murray. And my dad and I used to watch the games. And if it was a close game late in the game, we go, all right, now Eddie's going to win it. But is he going to win it right-handed or left-handed? And, he always came through. And like I said, I'm a switch hitter today because of this man right here.
What'd you say to that, Eddie?
Not a whole lot to say to it.
Well, so the question that begs to me is, why did you become a switch hitter?
Well, I became a switch hitter. It really became, I was hitting batting practice left-handed, and what I found that it did for me was shorten up my right-handed stride. Not that I knew, my manager was sitting over there just drooling like, look at this kid hit the ball left-handed. And then one night he asked me about hitting left-handed. He said, you ever thought about hitting left-handed? I told him I could hit left-handed. Well, the first pitch I ever did hit a double. It's been history ever since.
Good for you. Tillman with a great pitch. That was right in the glove. He gets the called third strike on Teixeira and a big strikeout in his first one of the game. So now with Swisher still on at first, here's A-Rod. He lined out hard to short his first time up. The line drive that almost took the glove off his Turris's hand. He's looking for his first hit in this series as he has an 0 for 6 in these two games. But on the season, Rodriguez has struggled against Oriole pitching. That's an irony. Everybody else in this team having hit so well, he's hitting 175 against the Orioles. That'll be handled by Lugo. No runs on one hit, no errors, and one left on base. Going to the bottom of the third, Orioles up To you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill. Bring your Green Turtle receipt to the Orioles box office for a buy one, get one free ticket offer for any non-prime game. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Tejada, Markakis, and Wigginton will be coming to the plate. Oriole fans on hand for this one. And even though it's an overcast night, it's a comfortable night for baseball. It's 68 degrees, humidity up a little. Virtually no breeze.
Yeah, I think the temperatures are going to get into the mid-80s tomorrow with a lot of sun. So,
a nice day.
Yankees, Arrieta.
Good day to come to the ballpark.
Weather, yep.
Tejada, strikeout victim, his first time up. This will go to short. Jeter. He's got it. It's time for our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. Always on top of this one is the broadcast booth, as you probably know. Kenny Singleton holds the Orioles' single-season record in which two offensive categories? Singy, look up. Somebody tell him he's on TV. Singy, which two categories?
Walks.
Walks.
On-base percentage?
Walks and on-base percentage is the correct answer. The answer we're going to see is... walks and on-base percentage. Dun, da, da, da. Dun, da, 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 da.
Well, my third choice was stolen bases, but I saw Al Bumbry, and I knew Al. That we eliminated the stolen bases. Al came into the booth. In fact, Singy was in here. Flanny was in here.
Yeah, we had a whole team.
We were all here.
Pretty good staff.
Pretty big day to be in here. Ken Burns was in there. Oh, there you go.
Markakis will be turned around on a fastball after doubling his first time up.
Yeah, just in case you want to hit another slider low and away, take this. Oh, that's really the way you want to pitch because you're not up by the head.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Watch where the next one is. Look where Cervelli is sitting. Right there. Oh, yeah.
Perfect pitch.
Eddie, that probably really got you in a good mood, didn't it? Almost hit you and then down and away.
I tell you, I was talking to him today about why. I said, you've changed. You're not as mean as you used to be. I tell you, as a youngster, CC would there were things that would set him off.
1-2 delivery on the way. Markakis down the left field side. Russo trying to get that lined up wilt. It's in fair territory when he put it away. The Orioles a mighty task to try and get by Sabathia. 7 straight quality starts against the Orioles and has gone 7-0 with a 2.05 in those games. Overall 12-1, 17 starts, 2.6 ERA. Last week got a win, 7 innings. As he gave up 3 runs, 3 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts.
His last win against another team other than the Orioles is all the way back to April 16th. I mean, that's a long time ago.
It's a long.
Almost 2 months ago.
Well, all these games the Orioles have played in the division have created the opportunity for some of these Yankee pitchers like Sabathia to face the Orioles a number of times already. 4th start of the year.
Well, Hughes and Burnett, who'll pitch tomorrow, is 11-2, and Sabathia, what, they're 27-5 lifetime? Yeah. Tells you how tough they can be.
Well, you saw what that pitch to Markakis did. That pitch up and in. The next 2 pitches, that's what causes that swing. You throw a ball up and in at 94 miles an hour, and then you can go away the way CC does. That's why he's a winner.
0-2. There's Markakis watching. 2 down. And the pitch will bounce in the dirt. Wigginton, strikeout victim. This is the first lead against the Yankees since the top of the 3rd on May 4 in New York. It's been 52 2/3 innings between then and the 2nd inning of this ball game. And the RBI single by Atkins that has given the Orioles the 1-0 lead.
I love that stare by Markakis there. I tell you right now, he has added the situation up. You got me this time. You came in and then you went away twice. And all you're doing is logging that in to, somewhere else down the line.
1-2 delivery up high. The Orioles have only had the lead in 26 of the 58 ball games played this season, scoring first. Now it's scoring first. They have not had a chance to try and protect a lead, obviously, very often. 2-2 delivery by Sabathia. That one got away, and 3-2.
So Wigginton, he says, I still want to be the first Oriole first baseman to hit a home run. He's still looking for his first home run in the month of June. 6 in April, 7 in May.
If I was him, I asked to move. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It's taken so long for them to hit one. I would want to go to third and pick Miggy up maybe, or second base.
Find one somewhere else. 3-2 delivery on the way, and a ground ball off the mound, and that's going to be a base hit. So Wigginton is on with a 2-out single here in the third inning. Wigginton is tied for 5th in homers with Justin Morneau, Vladimir Guerrero, and Jose Guillen. Juan Bautista still leads the league with 18. Wigginton, 13. Cabrera Canerco have 17. 2 down, runner on at first base, and Luke Scott, a strikeout victim, his first time up.
Well, CC worked him hard in the first at bat, and then he fed him that last 3-2 curveball that could strike him out. He tests the heart a little bit as a left-handed hitter.
Yes. 2 down. And Scott will take it into right field for the base hit. Swisher will get it in. And with 2 down, there are now 2 on.
Well, Eddie, I learned from throwing these kind of pitches, you make a good slider, you strike a guy out, you make a bad one, he ropes it into right field. I imagine Luke probably had to go up there and say, well, if you're going to throw me another one and doesn't throw it quite as well, I'm going to be on it.
Well, that's part of hitting. You look bad on a pitch, guess what? You're going to see it again. And right there, I thought why not go back up and in and just see what happens and then try that routine again.
He left one out, and that allowed Scott to extend his arms, and he did. Now it'll be Jones with the RBI opportunity with 2 down. Runners on at first and second base.
Yeah, I don't imagine that the Orioles over the course of a season are going to be able to hit around 218 with runners in scoring position. So Juan Samuel, sooner or later, you get enough guys on. I mean, Adam Jones hit over 300 last year with runners in scoring position. Now, that's always tough to do back-to-back years, but not in the eyes. We're talking about interstate number here at 163. That's got to change at some point. And the more guys you get on, the more opportunities.
Absolutely.
Jones has had some of his best career numbers against the Yankees. He drew a walk, scored a run in the second inning on the Atkins single. 24th run he scored in his career against the Yankees, the most against any opponent. He's first in RBIs against the Yankees. Home runs, he's had 6 of them against the Yankees. That's tied for first against an opponent. And he's had 44 hits, which is first against any opponent.
And you got to like that swing at 1-0. I mean, maybe it was a little bit down.
It was down.
But it had some authority to it. I mean, it wasn't like one of those lazy swings, check swings.
Well, Jim, I have a better swing 2-0.
Well, that's a good point. Well, that's why you're in the Hall of Fame, too.
Well, yeah, I'm not kidding. I was just thinking that ball was just a tad out of the zone. Right there, he let it jam him.
Yep.
And he'll be behind on the count now. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's trying to be aggressive at times, but it's aggressive in the strike zone. You're helping a pitcher out. It's still like a little league coach. The best thing and the simplest thing is, come on, Bobby, get a good pitch to hit. That's Major League Baseball. You got to get a good pitch. It starts right there.
When did you first learn that, though?
It took me about a year and a half. I started really watching how people were pitching me with guys on base. And like you said, you get tired of chasing that ball up the ladder. And he said, that's their plan. So now you lay off of it, and you make them throw strikes, and you become better.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Jones will take that into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Ty Wigginton not fast. He's coming. Here's Russo. His throw to the plate, not in time. They got to play at third and will not be able to get Luke Scott. And down to second goes Jones. And the Orioles take a 2-0 lead.
Well, there you go. I mean, they get the bonus package here. They get the run in. And they try to come up and in. That's what you were talking about, Eddie. But this time he gets on top of it. And Wigginton, Russo, he doesn't make a good throw. I mean, 2 outs, you're running on the pitch. And then Kevin Russo doesn't hit the cutoff man. And he throws it. Not a lot of arm strength there. And they try to get the lead runner. Nice slide. And Jeter's the guy that makes the tag because A-Rod's the cutoff man and doesn't get the glove down.
So Jones delivers the RBI base hit, and the Orioles deliver with 2 away.
And you're 1 hit away from taking a 4-0 lead.
19 RBIs for Adam Jones on the season.
2-out single.
2-out single. The Orioles have had 2 RBIs coming with 2 down. They were hitting as a team just .211 in those situations this year, and tonight have made it work.
This could be a real big hit right here.
Yeah.
If he scores these 2 guys here, I tell you, that ball club and that dugout there should really have their heads up.
Matt Wieters. Wieters flying out to center field. He's hit just 167 with 1 home run lifetime off Sabathia. But this is, again, key moment early in the ball game here in the 3rd inning. Whether this is going to be a 2-0 or a 4-0 game after this at bat. 1-0 count on Wieters. And Sabathia's away. Cervelli not happy with it. Gets up, hollers out at him.
Well, one of those nights, and you get them, I don't care how good you are, where every time you look up, there's a runner in scoring position. Or you're hanging a slider and they're doubling over the center fielder's head. It's what you do in these situations which really turns games from losses into wins and vice versa.
Orioles have had the base runners so far in this ball game. 2-0 delivery. Wieters with a pretty good cut. 2-1.
I don't know if the Yankees are actually sleepwalking, but this could be one of those any given days. Right now, they're just, this is a big at bat right here, I tell you.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Sabathia taking a look at third. Scott's the lead runner. Jones down at second. And that'll be fouled away and even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2.
96. So obviously CC knows this is an important moment. A little extra.
I think he's angry.
Yep. Well, and also, you get a young hitter, and you can't forget how young Matt Wieters is as far as at bats. He chases the ball a little out of the zone. That wasn't a very good pitch to hit. You don't usually get hits on those type of pitches at 96 up and in.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Sabathia 2 down, and Wieters foul tipped it into the mitt. So Sabathia gets a big strikeout. That'll be his 4th K of the game. Orioles will come away with 1 run. They do it on 3 hits. 2-0. All day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, don't think we had anything to do with
All
it.
right,
No. I was trying to figure out who cut the slice out of there.
I was just trying to figure out how old you were.
Yeah, me too. Depends on the day.
You're going to have to chop the tree down and count the rings.
Better bring a magnifying glass.
So they do up in Maine, don't they?
Well, absolutely. That's how you tell how old the tree is. Robinson Cano will lead it off here. As long as the grass is on this side, I'm okay. Cano picked up a single his first time up as we go to the 4th inning. Tillman with a 2-0 lead to work with now. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Orioles. No runs, 3 hits for the Yankees. 5 left on by the Orioles and 4 by the Yankees. Tillman showing Cano that off-speed delivery to start him out with. Swung on and missed. Maybe he'll keep showing him if he can't hit it.
Well, actually, you know, in the game against Boston, and especially the one in Toronto, probably a better curveball this year than he had last year. So, again, you just got to remember how young he is. And, again, you're 6'6", getting over your front side. I always felt, and I had the overhand curveball like Chris, it's a field pitch. You got to throw it, but you also got to understand that it's tough to throw over for strikes sometimes. That's a pretty good combination, though. You know, a couple of slow hooks and then a high heater out of the zone. Of course, what Cano does so well is he's able to make contact even on a pitcher's pitch.
Foul it off and then get one.
Yep.
League's leading hitter, who here at Camden Yards has a .362 lifetime batting average with 9 home runs in this ballpark. Tillman's 0-2 delivery to him. Fastball up high, 1-2. Chris looking for his first win in his 3rd start of the season. He has 2 wins, 6 losses in his young career. 1-2 delivery, a breaking ball inside.
And what he was lamenting about the Boston start, he said, when I did make good pitches, I'd get ahead and then I couldn't finish them off. And it is always difficult to finish off a guy like Cano.
Raining.
It's been in the area.
Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that's going to be into left field for a base hit. So even though he fell behind in the count, Cano finds a way, and he's got another multi-hit game. And he's 2 for 2 in this one. Tonight's thirst inning moment brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. The Budweiser umbrella unit. So Cano's got the single leading it off. He's led off both the 2nd and 4th inning with those singles. 2 out of 4 leadoff batters on against Tillman. Tillman is, in the 3 starts, retired only 50% of leadoff batters in an inning.
Well, there's your inexperience. You know, we had a talk. He understands how important it is to get that first guy out. When you don't, they usually score 49% of the time. It drops to 15 if you get him out.
Jorge Posada. Posada drew a walk, one of 2 surrendered by Tillman so far. 2 walks and a strikeout for Tillman. Sabathia 2 walks and 4 strikeouts and a wild pitch.
Now 56 pitches already, and that's what the Yankees are looking at. They want him gone and into the soft underbelly of a bullpen that's not close.
Threw it away. It goes off the tarp, and Cano will go to second. And it will be an error on Tillman.
Well, there's again more inexperience. It's raining. It's a slow turf. We saw that with Jeter getting thrown out. He doesn't steal very much. He hits. And you try to pick him off, and then you don't make a good throw right into the runner. Wigginton can't get across the runner and down the right field line. So now the double play, no order in order. And this is exactly what the Yankees want.
Posada will get the RBI chance now. Coming down pretty good, but the ground crew is not out by the tarp, which is always an indication that they don't expect this to be a very long shower.
Either that or the radar is broken.
That's another alternative.
Which is probably not the case.
1-2 on Posada. And that one's going to be to the hole. Lugo up with it. Will get the out. Posada gets the job done, though, of getting Cano over to third base with 1 away.
Yeah, same pitch would have gotten Cano out at second, would have gotten the lead runner out, and now all of a sudden with Granderson coming up with a 2-0 lead, you're going to play your infield back, and maybe you'll play in at third because I think he bunts a whole lot. But you almost concede a run here. So you either got to get a pop up or a strikeout.
Well, he is a strikeout guy here. I mean, you can't work him into that.
Curtis Granderson, runner at third, 1 away. And Granderson will take the fastball up high. He's having a good June. 320, 2 home runs so far in the month of June. 243 with runners in scoring position for him. Granderson, 25 strikeouts, only 13 walks. Off-speed breaking ball is going to be in there again. Cano spends more time jockeying with the pitcher when he's on than any other runner in the league. He's always active. He's trying to gain your attention. He'll take off, start for home, jump around. He does that on every base. I like that. That's a guy's. He's in the game.
Well, that's why you pitch from a stretch position with a runner on third that does things like that. I learned it when Campaneris did it one night. I was in a stretch. I just stepped off. They called a balk. I didn't think I balked. In fact, I knew I didn't, but they called it, so that's the last time I ever did it. And you just take care of it. A great angle right here. If he's going to run, he can do all he wants. You can step off. You can throw over there without throwing.
1-2 delivery on the way. Orioles have a 2-0 lead. Only one down here with a runner on at third base, Robinson Cano. And Tillman trying to leave him there. Working against Granderson, who flied out to left field his first time up. And that'll be way inside.
Well, that's your strikeout pitch that you were talking about, Eddie. 141 strikeouts last year. Like 4 years ago, struck out 170 times.
Yeah. There's a fellow named Reynolds over in Arizona.
Mark Reynolds?
Oh, yes.
3-2 in the air. That'll get a run in. Scott back, tagging up Cano. Granderson will get the RBI on a sacrifice fly. That'll be his 16th run batted in, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Well, there's your situational hitting, and it's a terrific job. He just couldn't quite get that fastball in, and then he ends up hitting a curveball. Just makes an out, but it's great to be able to make an out with a runner in third, get a run in.
Well, the Orioles see a little run manufacturing against them right there. The error by Tillman. And that throw to first helping to create it. And then Posada moved the runner over to third with a ground ball to the right side. Raining hard now. And here's Cervelli. Cervelli flied out to right field his first time up. Home plate umpire Jerry Davis is the crew chief. And decisions about starting, stopping will be made by him. 1-0 count, 2 away. Outfield played around to right on Cervelli, giving him the big gap in left center. 1-0 delivery, fouled again, 1-1. Cervelli wants to dry the bat or hands off here. You can see raining pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, and the biggest concern, and we talk about it all the time, is, if you're pitching, are you going to slide around? If you're hitting, if you're trying to catch a grounder, it's the infield. It's the batter's box, it's the pitcher's mound.
One ball, one strike count. Base is empty now with 2 down. And Cervelli. Great catch made by Turris. Robbed of a base hit by the Orioles shortstop. That will retire the side. Is Turris ending it with that catch. A run in for the Yankees, and it is a 2-1 Orioles lead.
Yankees are concerned between Francisco Cervelli and Jorge Posada. It's a very sensitive situation in New York, but Cervelli told me it's been made a lot easier by how good he and Posada's relationship is. He said Posada's been a mentor to him, especially in the gym. He's taken him in there and showed him how to keep his legs strong, how to work out and train so that he'll have a long catching career. And Cervelli has told me he's just learned a lot about work ethic watching Jorge Posada. Now, it's important to note that it's not that Cervelli is not a shoo-in to be the catcher of the future for the Yankees. Right now, the Yankees, 2 of their top prospects in their minor leagues are catchers. So it'll be interesting going forward as Posada gets older, who will take the torch. Gary?
Yeah, and it's something Joe Girardi, as most managers would at this point, Amber. He just doesn't want to deal with that. Let it happen when it happens. Because there could be other injuries. There could be anything could happen. So they're just going to wait. But clearly Jorge Posada wants to catch, and Girardi made it clear in New York that he wants him to catch. It's just he won't answer the question of how much.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, Cervelli's done a great job driving in runs, but over the long haul, Posada, a typical year, is 18 to 25 home runs and 80 to 90 RBIs. But again, they got Austin Romine at AA, and they got Jesus Montero, which they could use for trade shifts. You know, obviously, big articles all over the New York papers that Cliff Lee will become available, and maybe they will use them to go out and get him.
Orioles have a 2-1 lead in this ball game. Atkins picking up one of the RBIs, the other by Jones, both on singles. Unearned run in the 4th inning, which really should be an earned run because the error was on the pitcher. 2-0 count. Tillman's throwaway created the opportunity for the run to score to make it a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, unnecessary pickoff.
Yeah. And a 3-0 count by Sabathia on Atkins. Atkins 8 for 14 now, lifetime off Sabathia with a base hit. Here's the 3-0 delivery, and that's a strike he was taking.
Well, let's see, he gets another fastball in the middle of the plate. The one home run he's hit was on a high curveball. Hit at the left center field here.
Sabathia with a 3-1. A-Rod. Atkins retired, one away. One of Birdland's favorite annual promotions, returning to Oriole Park on Friday. The first 25,000 fans 21 and over will get the Orioles floppy hat presented by Miller Lite. Don't miss the fun night out with friends and family. It's the Mets in town for the Interleague 7:05 game. Get your tickets in advance and save at 888-848-BIRD. Go to Orioles.com. Still light rain falling here. Here's his Torres, who had a single. His first time up, first hit of the series. No play. Orioles have gone 5-15 against left-handed starters this year. More losses than anyone else in the American League against lefties. Hitting .238 off southpaws, .248 off right-handers. 0-1. Lugo waiting on deck. And that'll be in the air to right center. Swisher into the raindrops, puts it away.
Yeah, and CC getting right back to where he's supposed to as a dominant starting pitcher, which is if you give up a couple of runs early and you know you play for a team that leads the league in runs, just settle down, get some outs, and bide your time.
Stick around.
Yep, exactly. And it's kind of like the John Lackey mentality, except with better stuff. I'm going to pitch 7 into the 8th inning and take my chances. Kind of the clubs I played on. I mean, that's, and what's the guy to your left is one of the reasons. You know what, the 2-1 when you got Eddie Murray coming up, or you got Teixeira, A-Rod, people like that.
That pitch is taken inside for a ball. Lugo, .240 lifetime hitter against the Yankees with a couple of career home runs off New York pitchers. Here's the 1-0 delivery by Sabathia, and Sabathia will get it in on the outside corner, 1-1. Jake Arrieta tomorrow, major league debut for the Orioles, being called up to make the start against A.J. Burnett, who is 6-3. So Arrieta arrives here at Camden Yards for the ball game tomorrow night. 1-1 delivery. Lugo to third. A-Rod was in. And a 1-2-3 inning for Sabathia. We go to the 5th inning, and the Orioles on top trying to take this middle game. Now, he has walked 2, struck out 1. Russo, Jeter, and Swisher. Russo popped out his first time up, getting the start in left field.
Well, you look at lineups when you're facing the Yankees, especially when Gardner's not in there. This is a guy you need to get out.
That's going to be a base hit.
Yeah, and you can't let him bunt in front of you. You know, he got jammed the first time. They're down by a run. He's a utility guy. This is what he does. He steals bases. He doesn't hit home runs. So you can't be playing that deep. You don't even want him to think about bunting on a wet night, because the guys coming behind him are the guys that are going to beat you. Because you're third time through the order. You've only got a 1-run lead. You're inexperienced. You got to get that guy out. That's the guy you circle in the lineup. It's a must. And that's part of communicating, too.
Now you got the top of the order.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem.
Derek Jeter. Jeter does not have a sacrifice this year. Tejada's in at third. Jeter does not show bunt.
With that said, you also have to give Kevin Russo a lot of credit for understanding that Tejada was back and getting the ball down. Wanted a picture bunt, a little pop fly, but nobody there to catch it.
Wet grass.
Yeah, oh yeah, ideal. And now you got one of the best hit and run guys, or a guy that can hit the ball behind the runner.
6-game hit streak. Jeter with a single. He's 1 for 2. And Jeter goes to short. 1 hop. Chance for 2. There's 1. Good decision made by Asturias. No sense throwing it around if he can make the play himself. And Jeter hits into the double play.
Well, he makes a great pitch here because he jams Jeter. And right here, again, Lugo, you know, and shortstop playing second base. And Cesar, he will quickly realize he can take this his place. And there's no way that Lugo's going to catch that and turn the double play with his back to first base.
6 double play Jeter has hit into this year. And a big one for Tillman.
Nice
Quickly
pitch.
Eliminates that leadoff batter.
Really good pitch to a tough out.
2 down, nobody on. And here is Swisher. He has singled and walked. 14 career home runs here at Camden Yards for Nick Swisher, and a lifetime .339 average in this ballpark. That is in there for a strike.
So, Eddie, did you talk to Swisher? Did you confuse him?
You did.
Oh, I talked to him. You talking about some energy. Wow. I mean, I already enjoyed watching him play. You know, you see the energy and the love he had for the game, and I tell you, he was all over me. I mean,
he was.
Well, why not?
He was loving every minute.
Well, you know, his dad a former, of course, his dad a catcher for a long time, major leaguer.
Yeah. Singy ran out and got me, and he said, somebody's got to meet you. And I come in, and I'm thinking he's kidding, and oh, man, he has a baseball ready, and he's like, he thinks he's got to come out to the dugout, and I'm already in the locker room, and then oh, gosh.
He had you in a corner there. I didn't know if you were going to get out in the locker room.
Yeah, we switched a couple of stories, and
that's great.
Well, he's got a little bit of Kevin Millar in him.
Absolutely.
You know, yeah, you know, where, I mean, he's a gamer, and, you know, obviously, I mean, he can do a lot of things to help you win.
A little short of Dempsey. I mean, you know, those guys have a lot of fun. They got a pranks up their sleeve somewhere. Dempsey used to scare me from time to time. I mean, you know, you would hear the pranks he pulled, and he'd look at me hard enough, and I would believe him. I would apologize.
Get it over with.
Oh, you didn't want him pulling the tricks. I hid my keys a couple of nights with him, and couldn't find my keys. I'm at the ballpark real late, and people don't know why. Hid my keys and couldn't find them.
Swisher takes it, and it's full. Tillman trying to get out of this, facing only 3 hitters. He has not retired the side in order in any inning, but could get out of this if he can get Swisher.
Well, he's trying to pitch him like he said he was going to try to get him out with something other than fastball, and he let off his first at bat with a single up the middle. There's a
3-2 in the air to center. That back. Jones, warning track, has room, and he's got it. Swisher's retired on the long fly ball up. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. course, he played ball only miles away from Camden Yards at his home here in Maryland.
Yeah, Mount St. Joe High School here in the Baltimore area. And down to Georgia Tech.
You had a pretty good conversation, Eddie, with Teixeira today.
Well, yeah, we talked about a few things. He's not happy with what he's doing, but again, he's up. I mean, he's not down. He's knowing things are going to come and the numbers are going to be there for him. He's really, we talked about getting in and out of slumps. I said, that's what I kind of took pride in. Once you got in one, it was like, what can I do to get out of it? And we talked, and it was about slowing everything down. You go out to hit batting practice, and you say, do 50%. But then as you're hitting the ball, I said, if you're squaring it up, I don't care how hard you swing it, and all of a sudden you add another 5% to the swing. Next thing you know, you're back in some type of rhythm, but your best swing anyway, to me, is a 75 to 85% swing. You swing any harder than that, you have to worry about your head and shoulders staying on the ball. So, we talked about several things today, and then we went out to lunch with Joe Geyer from Geyer Financial, who's sponsoring all of this, and it was a great lunch.
Good for you. And the second part of that discussion with Mark Teixeira and Eddie will be on the pregame show tomorrow night, 6:30 on O's Extra. Here's Tejada, 2-1 lead for the Orioles. Tejada 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out against CC Sabathia. Nicole Sherry was right again. Is she ever wrong when it comes to weather? The rain has all but stopped.
Yeah, to get the turfus around the pitcher's mound to some degree, around the batter's box.
CC Sabathia with a couple of walks, 4 strikeouts in the game. Tejada will take it inside. 2-1. RBIs by Atkins and Jones for the Orioles. An unearned run picked up in the 4th inning by the Yankees. The RBI going to Granderson.
Yeah, for the Orioles, they got 15 hits, 7 runs last night. And as Kevin Millwood, their starter, said, that was plenty of runs to win. I just pitched horribly.
That's going to be a base hit.
But Tejada got 3 of those 15 hits. If he gets hot, the offense gets better. And to me, what Juan Samuel, talk about when Weaver took over, he moved Don Buford to left field. Tejada's an ideal second place hitter to me because he can the ability to hit the ball at right field. He didn't get your leadoff guy on.
Boy, in Houston, he had great numbers in that spot. Juan Samuel said, we went back and looked at the numbers for Tejada batting second, and Samuel said once we saw what they were in Houston, I put him in that 2-hole, and I don't intend to move him unless he just doesn't like it there. Here's Nick Markakis. Markakis a double, and he is flied out. For Nick, big ball game last night, 2 for 5. He had 101 runs RBI wise last year, and has now knocked in at least 1 run in back-to-back games for only the 2nd time this year, as he starts to try and put some more RBIs up there on the board. That one a roller to short. Jeter's got to play at second and gets it there in time to get Tejada.
Yeah, no jump and not a lot of speed. Otherwise, that's going to be an infield hit. And boy, your secondary lead, and nice at back because he goes the other way. A-Rod can't get it. Jeter's got to go a long way, but we saw Tejada make the play in the 1st inning, jumping. This is, again, they've already gotten the out. Get the lead runner.
That was his only play, and he was able to make it.
Well, it's just amazing. I've played with so many great shortstops, whether it was Cal or Belanger or Aparicio. They just have a sense to know who's running and what the timing of it is.
That's what makes them great shortstops.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. And you can't wait till the ball's hit.
Now Wigginton up. Wigginton, shallow right. Swisher, Cano over the shoulder. And there are 2 down after that leadoff single. Our Chili's game flow. Chili's. It's all about preparation. Thank you so much. This game flow, CC Sabathia.
Is that where you're going for your birthday celebration?
Couple of RBIs.
Chili's?
No, I'm going to Corks.
Corks, yeah.
Corks.
Oh, you're going to Corks?
Corks is my favorite restaurant in Baltimore.
It's a terrific restaurant.
It's a wonderful restaurant. Great people, great food, and a lot of wine. Here's Luke Scott, a single, and he is struck out. Runner on at first base, Nick Markakis. And the pitch is taken for a strike.
Get that flavor straw.
There's a whole wall waiting for me there, stacked with wine bottles. 0-1 count.
You're taking these losses pretty hard, aren't you?
I am.
Or is it your birthday? I don't know.
Take your pick. If you need an excuse to drink wine, if you do. I didn't know that.
No, nor did I.
Okay, then we're all set. Scott has been hitting the ball hard of late, as he's gone 373 in his last 23 games. He's raised his average from 177 to 278 since May 8th. And Luke's bat important power-wise and extra base hit-wise in the lineup for the Orioles.
As you can see, that's not much of a move to first base by CC. And I tell you, he really doesn't like throwing over there. I tell you, as a youngster, it bothered him throwing over there. But, you know, he's gotten to know that he has to control the running game. You're not going to get that many hits off him consecutively.
And Nick Markakis, after having a strikeout against or a fly ball out earlier when Sabathia set him up, Nick would love nothing more than to be able to find a way to steal. The going, though, is a little tough out there right now with the wetness.
It's pretty good lead. 18 steals his first year in a running game, 10 and then 8.
One away after the inside pitch and a 1-2 count.
Well, here's another breaking ball. Of course, he struck him out the first time, then he got a base hit on one the second time. But you don't hit those too often.
Yeah, that's a different location on those pitches. One's over the plate and one broke off of it.
Plus, I got to imagine if you're lefty against Sabathia, even though we told you the numbers were up this year compared to last year, there's a lot of deception. A lot of stuff coming at you.
And there he goes. 5 strikeouts, including 2 against Luke Scott, both swinging. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base.
Exclusively at all Camden Yards program stands. Then you can also grab the 2010 Orioles yearbook packed with tons of photos and bios on your favorite Orioles as well as minor league players. So pick up a copy of Orioles Magazine, Orioles Kids, or the 2010 Orioles yearbook during your next visit to Camden Yards. Gary?
Great for the kids, and there is Brian Mattis on the right, Kevin Millwood, the veteran, sitting next to it, and Matt Wieters, of course, working behind the plate. Good ball game, 2-1. Orioles on top. Tillman with a couple of walks and a strikeout gets to Sheriff, Rodriguez, and Cano as they bat in the 6th inning. Teixeira has grounded out and struck out. 3 hits in 6 at-bats so far in these 2 games. Orioles trying to end this 9-game win streak the Yankees have against them. It ties the longest streak that any team has against another. Colorado has beaten the Reds 9 consecutive times.
And there's
a lot, huh?
Yeah, nope. Well, he's made some big pitches. Again, they probably wouldn't have scored if it hadn't been for the attempted pickoff that he threw away.
The only run on the board on earned for the Yankees.
Well, right there, there's 2 all-speed pitches. He's 0-2. That's a little bit to work with. Last time he did it, he walked the guy. I mean, well, he gave up a 2-2 hit to Cano.
Another off-speed delivery that Teixeira fouls off at the plate.
Well, you get an idea of how good his curveball can be when he gets on top of it. It's just a very difficult, at least I found over 4,000 innings, it's a tough pitch to throw over because of the break. But it's easier to throw over once you get a feel of it because it's such a touch and feel type of pitch.
Teixeira, that'll be to the shallow right fielder and an error.
You just can't play that deep. Not on a wet field. I mean, just the little things. The defense, good in the outfield. When you look at the range of the Oriole infield, and again, you come in, it hits the lip.
I still tell you, Mark runs pretty good down that line to be that deep.
Well, you're right. And, we saw that last night. It led to the inning where Granderson hit the grand slam. Yeah. Just an extra out. You make a good pitch, you jam a guy that, usually hits 30 home runs. Last year led the American League in RBIs, and you think you got an out. Now all of a sudden you got to face A-Rod with 591 home runs.
A-Rod up. Second error committed by the Orioles in the ballgame. Rodriguez. Nobody out and a runner at first. And the breaking ball is taken inside. He is lined out hard and popped out. No Tillman. He'll have to pick up the pace a little bit here and get one back for Lugo on the error at second. And a leadoff error puts the potential tying run on. A-Rod going after that one down and away. 1-1.
Yeah, Rick Kranitz, the Oriole pitching coach, we were talking because of the rain, no on-the-field batting practice, and we were saying you always try to pick up your teammates. But a lot of times it depends who's hitting, how many times through the order, when it happens, who it happens to.
1-1 delivery inside. You saw A-Rod's numbers at home and away. Many Yankees have similar numbers. Yankees as a ball club hitting .316 at Yankee Stadium and .256 on the road. They score 6.8 runs at home per game, 6.8 and 4.9 on the road. There's nothing wrong with that 4.9 number.
Well, that's why it's 19-7 and 17-15 when it comes to the records, home and the road to post. It's an amazing thing that just haven't played so few home games, and we were talking about it last night. It's got to be scary for everybody else.
We've got a lot to be made up. 3-ball, 1-strike count. Rodriguez will look for him to drive and fouls it back.
I tell you what, we were in Cleveland when I went over there. We really love to get into that next city and go out and hit batting practice early, just to get you used to the backdrop and things of that nature. And I think it's something that's taken for granted. A lot of guys don't think they need to get up out of, it's not getting up out of bed when you go at 2 o'clock to hit early. But, you give yourself an advantage, I think.
3-ball, 2-strike count. Runner not going. A-Rod, hard line drive to Scott. That's going to take a hop and get away. Jones is going to have to chase it. Teixeira sees that. He will head to third, throw to second, and diving back in at first base is Rodriguez. He gets a single. First and third, nobody out.
Well, a sinking line drive, you got a hitter, your DH. That's the guy that usually DH playing left, so the sinking line drive doesn't get a good read on it. And that's going to allow Teixeira. I mean, he's going to go about halfway. The ball's in front of him to see if it's going to be caught or not. And then when the ball goes off the glove is when he goes to third base. So there's the tying run. Reached on an error. A-Rod's thinking about, well, maybe I can get to second, but Jones gets on it and not going to try to run against that arm.
A-Rod on at first. Rick Kranitz has come to the mound to talk to Tillman as the Yankees here in the 6th inning trying to mount an attack. It was the 7th inning ball game last night where they got 6 runs. On Sunday, the first 10,000 kids 14 and under at the Orioles-Mets Interleague game are going to get the reversible Orioles floppy hat. That's for kids. The kid-sized version. Great hat for the summer. We hope you'll come out with the family and enjoy the ball game. That's on Sunday. Get your tickets in advance and save 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com. So Tillman, the discussion with Kranitz and Wieters. And now you got to face the league's leading hitter. Robinson Cano, 2 for 2, 2 singles in the game. He is also the 5th best average with runners in scoring position in the league at 355.
And you would imagine what Rick Kranitz said was worry about the guy on first and the guy at home, because anytime you get into this situation, it's the guy at the plate and especially the guy at first. Those are your go-ahead runs. Sometimes, you know, you just have to stay away from the big inning. This is certainly one of those times.
Cano is grounded into 5 double plays. Chris Tillman would like to get one of those. 1-0 count. And Cano in the off-speed pitch, can't time it and fouls it back right off the cue shot that time.
Well, the amazing thing, and maybe you think, Eddie, that he might have been looking, because the last time he saw about 3 curveballs, maybe sitting on the hook. That was a pretty good one.
Well, I would say right there, he just got out in front of one. I mean, you know, again, it could have been a good pitch. I'm not going to, you know, I think he can swing better. He is so comfortable up there, and that might have been, you know, one of the worst swings he's had in the last 2 days.
Jason Birkin in the pen for the Orioles. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Cano will take the strike. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count on it.
I told Robinson yesterday, I said, Robinson, you're getting like Evan Longoria. You look so relaxed up there that he looks like you're going to doze off.
Look at that. He took strike 2 on a fastball. Most guys would be talking to themselves. Nice, cool, backs out. All right, you got 2 strikes on me.
1-ball, 2-strike count. Runners off first and third, nobody out. They go through it again. Cano steps out.
I've seen that a couple of times tonight where the umpire's giving him timeout, and I'm really glad that he does that. I tell you, there's nothing worse than to be yelling timeout and they won't give it to you. So, you know, I take my hat off to Jerry.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. Cano out in front of it. So the battle engaged here with Cano, who's seen foul off so many pitches, trying to line up his own.
Well, we saw it last time when it was 0-2 and he ran it to 2-2 and then singled for the second time in the left field. He's just hard to strike out because of bat control. Doesn't walk a lot. 15 and 230 at bats coming into the game. On base percentage over 40% because he's hitting 370.
Teixeira, Rodriguez getting the coaches talking to them. Here's the 1-2 delivery in the dirt. Wieters.
Yeah, really nice play by Matt. You got to be able to trust your catcher, because if you're going to throw the curveball and you're trying to look for the strikeout, you got one of them tonight, needs one here. You better be able to throw it in the dirt. And that's way out in front of home plate.
Cano with a couple of singles in this one now has had 9 consecutive multi-hit games here in Baltimore, adding to that big average he's got in this ballpark at 362.
You can only shake your head at that instead.
Yeah. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Cano will take it, and the count 3-2. Jorge Posada waiting on deck. Tillman with a 3-2. A-Rod not going at first, and it will be fouled away.
Yeah, probably the hardest fastball he's thrown all game at 93. And mortal hitters may swing through that one. He just flicks it foul.
And up to 93, as you see on that pitch count. Cano brings him in and he scores himself. He's second only to Kevin Youkilis in the league in runs scored. Tied for 4th in RBIs. 3-2 delivery on the way, and Cano will ground that one over the head of Wigginton. Game is tied. A-Rod's going to third. 3 for 3 in the ball game for Cano, and it's 2-2.
Well, take a look at Chris Tillman looking for a strikeout against the league's best hitter. Ball 1. Good curveball, 1-1. Perfect pitch. 1-2. Trying to strike him out. Still 1-2. 2-2. Misses down and away. Full count. Keeps the bat alive. Good curveball. Hits it over Wigginton's head. The Yankees tie. A-Rod all the way to third base. There's your go-ahead run. What a bat. Yeah.
46 RBIs ties him with Evan Longoria for third in the league. behind Cabrera and Vladdy Guerrero. Now first and third, still nobody out. Here's Jorge Posada for 1 and a walk. DH. Posada still trying to find his swing after coming back from the injury. Each team with 7 hits. 2-7-2 for the Orioles, 2-7-0 for the Yankees. This inning started on the error by Lugo that allowed Teixeira to reach. Tillman, the 0-1. Gets ahead of him.
Well, he has really made some nice pitches in this inning. But the only one that wasn't a good one was the fastball in the middle of the plate that Luke Scott looked like he was going to catch, and the ball kind of sunk in front of him off his glove.
Well, how did this inning start?
Yeah. Extra out.
Yep. Now, I tell you, then you're up there and you don't mind throwing maybe ball 4 to Cano. Now we're still looking for a double play from Jorge.
Tillman's numbers have been backwards from what you generally see in the count. After he gets an 0-1 count, hitters are .305 against him. If it's 1-0, they're .267, and after 2-0, .225. The exact reverse of what you generally see for pitchers. When they get ahead in the count, generally pitchers control. That one to first, Wigginton. There's one. The relay over to first and threw it away. Scoring is Rodriguez as the Orioles were giving up the go-ahead run. Yankees take a 3-2 lead, and Posada will end up at second base. He'll get a fielder's choice and an RBI.
Yeah, he looked at A-Rod at third, and then right here, not a good throw. Tillman kind of in the way. Wigginton, I don't think, would have caught it anyway. There's your go-ahead run. Not only to get the go-ahead run, but Posada moves into scoring position.
So the Orioles not helping themselves here in this ball game. 3 errors have been committed. 1 unearned run so far. Coming into the inning, Teixeira reached on an error. He has scored.
Well, the Yankees have beaten the Orioles 28 out of the last 34 games, and I played on a team to beat Kansas City 23 straight games, and whatever we needed, they gave us. Needed a 3-run home run, they dialed one up. Throw the wrong base, bad base running, and the Yankees will take this. I mean, this is just a matter of not playing well here in the 6th inning, and you can't do that and win a game when you're 2-1. Because as the game progresses, and we told you about Sabathia, he's going to stay right where he is, and then you get into the back end of the bullpen. Very hard to beat good teams. You got to beat them early, and you got to be able to support your young pitchers.
Granderson, a sac fly, and a fly ball out, and the off-speed pitch slips away way up high, and the count goes to 2-0. Curtis Granderson just about ready to pull Chris Tillman out of there. Juan Samuel. Skipper was looking at the card.
And the problem with Birkenup is that he gets lefties out better than righties. I mean, it's about a 150-point difference.
That's going to miss, and Tillman falls behind 3-0.
So if you do,
now he's going to walk him.
And then you go and get him, then you're going to bring Birken in to face a guy that came into this game hitting .450 with runners in scoring position.
Don't want to take a chance on just grooving one and Granderson hitting it. So there's the walk surrendered with first base open here, and one away, and that's going to bring up Cervelli. He's flied out, lined out. Cervelli, the number 8 hitter, and Juan Samuel not coming out here. He's going to let Tillman try and get Cervelli.
Well, I think that's the right play, only in the sense that what has Tillman done? Hardly anything. I mean, he's still throwing the ball well. I mean, this is a very unnerving inning for a 22-year-old young pitcher against the Yankees.
Error at second, error at short. 2 on, 1 down. Cervelli will take the pitch up high. Those breaking balls that had been down earlier are really up there now.
Well, with Francisco, he jammed him the first time, and then he made a nice adjustment and hit that screaming line drive that this tourist caught before it got into left field.
1-0 delivery to him, and that'll be in the air to center. Jones. So, chance for Tillman to get out of this inning, as there are 2 down now, 2 on, and the number 9 hitter Russo coming up, who bunted his way on with a base hit in the 5th inning. So the Yankees have taken the 3-2 lead. The RBIs have gone to Cano and to Jorge Posada in the inning. Posada getting his 15th. Cano is 46th. There's Posada. Lead runner at second base. Granderson at first.
I tell you, these outfielders got to make a chance if he gets a base hit at him at home plate. Posada doesn't run well, a little wet turf. I know the ball will be wet, but you got to be trying to charge that baseball out there.
Posada trying to get the big secondary lead after the pitch is delivered. 1 strike count on Russo. Tillman looking Posada back a bit. In the air to right, Nick Markakis. And a good job by Tillman as he regroups. Couple of runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, and the Yankees have a 3-2 lead.
Four pitches, really pitched out of trouble in that 6th inning. Game still in hand for the Orioles, and Sabathia still on the mound for the Yankees, trying to make it 13-1 over the Orioles.
Rain has stopped, and a good ball game underway here, and a big out in that 6th inning, in the sense of getting out of that with only a couple of runs being scored in order to keep that score just 3-2. Jones will lead it off here. Adam against Sabathia tonight has singled in a run. He has walked and scored. He's had a good night offensively for the Orioles.
Again, the 2 out hits. Big story tonight for the Orioles. But what did Eddie say? We need a couple more extra base hits, maybe a home run. Get something done.
0-1 count. Jones, Waiters, and Atkins. And a big cut. Extra base hits this season have come at a premium for the Orioles. Only 134 of them coming into the ball game. You compare that to opponents who have 191 against the Orioles in extra base hits. 191 to 134. And as we've said, tough to score when you're trying to put all those singles together. 0-2 delivery. Jones fooled on that one. That's just a great pitch. 6 strikeouts.
Well, the Guidry slider. What's the illusion, Eddie, that sometimes it almost looks like it's going to hit your back foot? You're a right-handed hitter.
Well, yeah, I think the big thing about that particular pitch was the speed. I think he took a little off of that one. He got Adam out front, and he wasn't able to, foul it off. I tell you, the big man's a pitcher.
Well, I like the story. I guess when he played freshman baseball, they said, what size uniform? He said, as big as you got.
Give me the extra material.
Then the legend began.
Matt Wieters will take it away for a ball. Wieters 0 for 2. He has flied out, struck out. 6 strikeouts in the ballgame. Sabathia's season high is 9 against Texas. His career high is 13. That came in 07 against Kansas City.
But for a big guy, he's an awfully good athlete.
He's quick on the mound.
You should see him swing the bat. I tell you, I went hard when you're in Cleveland trying to trick him into letting him play first base, because I'm telling you, he didn't swing and miss the ball. He just made contact, and I mean, he can hit a ball a long way. I said, you guys want to complain about his weight and have him step on the scale every time he step on the mound? He'll be okay at first base. I said, I won't ask him to step on the scale, but I tell you, he is some kind of hitter.
Well, Charlie Emanuel, who was managing there, he said if he ever really gets everything together, which appears to me he's gotten it together, he said he's going to throw 100 miles per hour.
Oh, there were days when he's done that, yeah.
3-1 delivery to Wieters, a comebacker. Matthew makes the flip and gets it. And there are 2 down here in the 6th inning. Tonight's Haynes Comfort Zone. Nice knowing, if you're the Yankees, that Mariano Rivera is always sitting out there waiting. A comfort zone with the season. Career saves, enormous, second most ever. ERA just virtually untouchable.
I told him you throw a 94 the other day. He actually walked a couple of guys that said, you're too old to throw that hard. It makes you wild. It just. And then, by the way, how's the knuckleball coming? He just keeps walking.
Everything's just fine.
Oh, is it ever?
I'm still getting outs.
He really did throw 94. I mean,
yeah.
You know, he got him out in the World Series last year throwing 89, had some shoulder problems. And as long as that ball cuts, keeps moving.
Here's that off-speed breaking ball. Atkins way out in front of it. Atkins an RBI single and has grounded out in the ball game, hitting .218 on the year. Orioles RBIs have gone to Jones and Atkins tonight. The other side of it, RBIs by Cano, Jode Posada, and Granderson. That'll be strikeout number 7 in the game for Sabathia. 6 complete here at Camden Yards. Raindrops have stopped. They're just watching now. In this ball game, as he comes out of there, having given up the 3 runs, only one of them earned on 7 hits over the 6 innings. And Jason Birkin will come out of the bullpen to make the appearance. He had an inning in the 3rd against Boston on Sunday, scoreless. in that one. And has done a good job out of the pen for the Orioles.
Yeah, last year a starter, 6-12, ERA about 6.50, 6.5 runs a game. This year he's really dominated left-handed pitchers. Righties have hit him well, and that's usually because he doesn't get the ball down. When he does, his stuff's pretty good.
So Birkin on the mound, and the top of the order to Derek Jeter. A single, get into a double play, and he is grounded out. Jeter shows bunt, drops one. Birkin, the one to field it, bobbled it, and still gets it.
Yeah, not a very good bunt. Boy, when they bunt the ball back to you and you get an out, even if it looks a little tenuous after he doesn't come up with it cleanly. I mean, you can know what Jeter's doing. Wet night. Tejada in there, though. Not a good bunt, but plenty of time. It's like Christmas came early, especially when you're on your way to 3,000 hits. But you understand the intention to get another run for the bullpen in Sabathia.
Now he gets a big out, get that leadoff man off. The Yankees will look to try and manufacture some runs here if given the opportunity. Nick Swisher a single. He's walked and is flied out. Swisher against Birkin, 2 for 5. We are in the top half of the 7th inning. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Yankees, 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors for the Orioles. And Swisher will take the pitch up high for a ball. Teixeira waiting on deck. Yankees looking to improve upon a 17-9 record against Eastern Division opponents. They're piling up some big early numbers against the American League East.
Well, they've done it, what, for 18 straight years?
Yeah, 18 straight years they've had the winning record.
Yeah, winning against the East.
Tampa Bay, percentage-wise, a little better. They're 17-8. The Yankees 17-9. Boston's 500. Toronto's 500, and the Orioles 7-24 against the East. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and Birkin will miss with it.
Boy, the Rays doing a number on Toronto. They beat them 9-0 last night, 9-1 again tonight.
Rays are certainly for real and looking for their 23rd win on the road. They lead the majors in road wins, 22-8. Birkin. And a couple of outs. On Saturday, celebrate Birdland's 2 home teams. First 20,000 fans 15 and over get the O's Ravens Rally Cap presented by Masson. Special appearances, the marching band, the cheerleaders, mascot, and more as the O's will be taking on the Mets. Now, due to a vendor distribution problem, Orioles Ravens Rally Caps may not arrive in time for the ball game Saturday night. If they do not, the fans are going to be given a voucher to redeem for a cap once they are delivered, and the Orioles apologize for any inconvenience that may cause. Again, I say, vendor distribution problem. It's a situation, as we say in the business. The pitch is taken inside, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Teixeira.
Well, they'll just store him here in the booth when they do get him, and we'll get a couple, and then we'll distribute them. I'll vouch for that. I will definitely vouch for that.
That one going to the corner in right field. Teixeira is on his way to second base. Markakis' throw will be cut off, and a double for Mark Teixeira.
Well, the book on him is to stay away from the fastball on the inside part of the plate. We saw that last night. The home run off of Albers. A little change up right here, and again it's down, and it's the magic place for a lefty, Eddie. Why is that? You just drop the bat? I mean, it's quicker that they drop the bat than to try to get on top of that high heater.
I have no answer for that. I know they drop it better than right-handed hitters.
Well, how did you feel? I mean, you dropped it about as well as anybody.
The ball up, I thought.
You thought?
Oh.
504 home runs later?
I figured the ball was already half elevated for me. It was easy to hit. Elevation was already included.
Elevation included. Here's A-Rod. A-Rod's 3 for 7 off Birkin. Chance for another 2-out RBI in this ball game. And A-Rod's trying to get it with Teixeira on at second base. Rodriguez a single and a run scored in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Teixeira walking off a short lead at the moment at second base. Birkin gets it in. 1-1. Rodriguez 250 for the month of June, and this month he has only had 1 home run here in June. Extra base hits, you see the differential. Orioles now 135, opponents 192, including the doubles distinction. Grounded to short is Tursup. And a good job by Berkman. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. Time hitting a home run from both sides of the plate in the same game. And Eddie would go on to hit one more to move ahead of the Mick as you finished with 11.
Yeah. I fell short of the stolen base record.
Didn't quite reach that, huh? Ricky's record?
Yeah. He's the greatest.
Well, that's what he said. Here's Garrett Atkins, and he's bunting. And that's a beauty. Nobody covering first. Robinson Cano showed up late as Teixeira broke in. Atkins caught him flat-footed, or Sturis rather, and a base hit.
That's some great play by A-Rod, not to fire that ball full tilt. I tell you, look at him and watch him throw a change. I thought he had a little more to put on, and he looks up and sees that no one's there, and he just...
Oh, it was like leading your receiver over the middle.
Ooh, yeah.
He could have easily thrown that down in the corner for a double or a triple.
And his tourist slipped trying to get out of the batter's box. So the Orioles get the potential go-ahead run to the plate now. Julio Lugo flied out, grounded out, walked. A-Rod's playing the bunt. He's 4 steps in at third. Lugo shows bunt, and indeed does. Good one. Cervelli. This time Cano's there. Sacrifice moving his tourist down. One on at second, one away. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any forms, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Well, the Orioles trying to get it at least tied up here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. By the way, the first player to reach the 3,000 hit mark was Cap Anson, and the second Honus Wagner. Here's Tejada. Runner on second, and that'll miss for a ball. Single, struck out, grounded out for Tejada in the game.
Yeah, the Orioles with 3 runs or less are 2-34. 2 wins, 34. When they get more than 4 runs or 4 runs or more, they move up. Even only their record at what, 16-42, they're 14-8. So the magic number seems to be at least over 4 runs at some point.
He'll take that one. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Sabathia's gone the distance. 2 walks, 7 strikeouts.
I always thought in these situations, if you're a good pitcher and it's a 1-run game, and of course you can pitch into the 8th or 9th, anytime they give you an out, it's huge.
Dig it.
Yep. Even though we know Tejada can drive in runs.
1-1 delivery down to third. That ball's fair. It'll hold the runner. They ran that sidearm throw. Almost submarines it. Let's check in with Amber.
Well, Gary, if you look in the hits column on the scoreboard, the Orioles really have gone hit for hit against the Yankees in the first 2 games of this series, and they've done it against Phil Hughes and CC Sabathia, the 2 pitchers who have dominated the Orioles in the combined 7 times they've already faced the Birds this season. Now, Nick Markakis told me he feels they've had success a little more this week against the Yankees pitchers because he feels pitchers have the advantage over hitters earlier in the season, but around June or July, he said you start to see a shift in power as pitchers' arms wear down a little bit, hitters are making adjustments. They're starting to get more comfortable, especially against the pitchers that they've seen quite a few times early in the season. So he thinks that's why the Orioles are a little more comfortable these past 2 days against Hughes and Sabathia at the plate. Gary?
And now trying to get the victory here, Amber, against Sabathia. As we said, Sabathia in this 9-game losing streak has already won 3 games against the Orioles. 9 consecutive losses against the Yankees. Hughes has got 2 of the wins, and Burnett 2. The Orioles, Brian Mattis has 3 of the losses. Millwood and Guthrie 2 each. 1-0 count. Runner at second base is Torres in the inside corner to Markakis. Real good matchup right here. Markakis has doubled in 3 times up. He's 7 for 30 lifetime off Sabathia. Markakis, one of the best hitters against left-handed pitchers in the game. And a base hit right here to tie this game up again in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1 delivery. Jammed him.
Yeah, perfect pitch. I mean, that's where you really like to go. I mean, obviously the down and away slider, high and tight, low and away, but you're going to throw a fastball up and in. And he threw it perfectly.
Well, don't be surprised. Like I said, CC can get stronger as the game goes on. He might hit 97 right now. You know, that would be his top pitch, and he's letting it go in the 7th inning.
Yeah, that pitch count at, 103. It looks like they're getting a little action in the Yankee bullpen. Nobody quite up, but they're scurrying around a little bit.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way to Markakis, and a ground into the hole. That's going to be stopped by Cano. He does not get the out, but he saves the run for the moment. Markakis will get the single. As Torres has to stop at third as Cano, diving, almost made the play.
Well, he's an awfully good defensive player. Came up, really didn't work hard on it. You talked about Mick Kelleher, their first base coach. He's the infield guy. He worked with Jeter last year. He won a Gold Glove. I don't know if Cano's going to win the Gold Glove, but he keeps the run from scoring that tying run. If you can't catch it, at least, which he did, but knock it down.
Well, you remember when that Gold Glove used to be tied in the hips also.
Yeah. Well, Gary Gaddy's the first guy. Gaddy could pick it, and then all of a sudden he started hitting, and they gave him a Gold Glove.
Yeah.
Well, Ty Wigginton with first and third covered and 2 down. Wigginton a single, 1 for 3 in the game. And the pitch is outside for a ball. Sabathia knowing Wigginton loves to go after that first pitch, trying to get him to chase one, and he wouldn't do it. Orioles with a chance to get it tied here. The RBIs they have from Atkins and Jones have come with 2 down. And now Wigginton is trying to get at least 1 more with 2 away. 1-0 delivery. Tips it into the mitt. 1-1. Juan Samuel, Joe Girardi, the skippers of the 2 ball clubs in this tight game. And CC Sabathia, the Yankees starter, trying to preserve the 1-run lead he's got. 1-1 delivery. Inside and high to him, 2-1. Sabathia, 107 pitches.
And you would think, I mean, if I'm CC, and of course you have Chamberlain to pitch the 8th and Rivera the 9th, you know that if you get out of this inning with that 1-run lead, I mean, you don't have to hold anything back.
2-1 strike count on Wigginton. He's thrown, strike called on a good pitch down low. The season high is 113 pitches. He's pitched over 100 in 3/4 of his games.
Yeah, look how Cervelli has to catch this. It's probably a little bit low. The one thing that Jerry Davis has been very, very consistent behind the plate. If he ever missed a pitch, that was that all night long.
So Wigginton 2-2. Runners off first and third. And he takes it. And it's 3-2.
I tell you, I'm a hitter. I wouldn't call that a miss. That was just one of those pitches that barely dropped out of the zone. And like you said, with 2 strikes, you got to be swinging at that. But he had a pitch, saved up in the bank there to take that. Some strong changeups here lately.
3-2, and he walked him. So the bases are loaded.
There it was again, that 3-2 count,
yep.
And you got a power pitcher throwing a really good changeup up there.
Yeah, Mike Harkey's going to come out. Dave Island away, personal business. So he'll come out to talk to him. You can see Joe Girardi right on the phone to make sure somebody gets up.
First walk since the 2nd inning. 3rd of the game.
Well, I think that was pretty much not that you want to walk the potential go-ahead run into scoring position, which is what he did, but I don't think you can give in to Wigington.
Oh, no, that's the way he's pitched that way tonight. I mean, it's his style. I mean, if this man's a power pitcher and you're getting geared up 3-2, all of a sudden you think you're in that hitter's fastball count, and he's getting his strikeouts on it.
So the bases are loaded for Luke Scott. Scott has singled and struck out twice. He's now 2 for 10 lifetime with a home run off Sabathia. Bases loaded. 3-2 Yankee lead. Timeout taken. Scott has gone 1 for 4 with the bases loaded this year.
And all the runs with 2 outs tonight. And Luke Scott hitting pretty much where Jones was. Right around the 162, 163 with runners in scoring position.
Stayed away. Both bullpens active.
Well, you like to be in this position. Your 22-year-old right-hander, in spite of bad defense, keeps you in the game, and you're one swing away from maybe taking the lead against a team that's beat you 9 straight times.
Turris, Markakis, and Wigington are the base runners. Sabathia with a 1-0 delivery. Scott pops it up and back. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
We're back to Yankee Stadium as Will Ullman's going to get loose. He did hit a home run off CC. So it's not like he hadn't solved them in the past. Pitch count now 1-12.
Couple of grand slams in his career. The next pitch by Sabathia will equal his season high in pitches thrown. That was 2 games ago against Cleveland. 1-ball, 1-strike. Scott, 1 around. Home plate umpire Jerry Davis makes the call himself. 1-2.
Well, the 2 times he struck out tonight, he's got him on that breaking ball away, and if he can get it away from him again, Luke's got to be looking for the breaking ball a little bit, even though it's 1-2.
Here's the 1-2 delivery to Scott, and he got him. And there was the pitch. The breaking ball away. 8 Ks in the game. The Orioles leave. The bases loaded. 3-2 lead. Not over, but not playing the kind of solid baseball you want to play to give yourself a chance to win. So we go to the 8th inning. The Yankees will bat against Jason Birkin. Robinson Cano will lead it off. Cano's already 3 for 3 in the game, and he has picked up an RBI and scored a run. Cano now hitting .378, and that pitch will be taken for a ball. So Birkin gets to go against the league's leading hitter with a 3 for 3 tonight. Cano has now gone over 500 against the Orioles this year. 7 RBIs against the O's. Good pitch by Birkin, 1-1. Jorge Posada, then Granderson will go up here in the 8th. Don't forget, Jake Arrieta is going to make his major league debut in the ball game tomorrow. He is being called up to make his first start. It will be in the ball game tonight against the Yankees tomorrow night. Center field, Jones. Talking about Luke Scott, Eddie, good point made on the first at bat. The rest of them were set up by this, weren't they?
Well, that's the last pitch right there that struck him out the first time up. And this was the pitch that ended that at last inning right there. But early in the game, the first pitch I think he received was a fastball in right at the shoulder. And I tell you, he knows that breaking ball's coming, but I said it takes courage to hit.
Yeah.
It's tough to lean that chin out over the plate to get that ball.
And Sabathia threw one towards the back shoulder, a fastball in that first at bat. And as Eddie said, that kind of stays in your mind for the rest of the game.
Up and in and then low and away, and he was able to execute it. Mike Harkey, his pitching coach, usually the bullpen coach for the Yankees. I'm going to talk him, but he made a huge pitch when he had to.
Well, Jim, you remember all our meetings, we used to start them off. Yeah, right. High, tight, low and away, you know.
That'll get anybody
It
out.
still works.
Yeah, well, it really does if you can do it.
1-1 delivery. Jorge Posada, an RBI on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning, has grounded out and reached on a walk. Yankees up by just 1. Birkin trying to keep it there. Tillman charged with the 3 runs on 7 hits, only 1 of them earned, though.
Well, when the Orioles compete, it's usually the back end of the bullpen that keeps them in the game. You know, tonight it was Tillman early on. The amazing number is that coming into this game, righties were 22 for 66 off of Birkin, but lefties were 8 for 43, under 200. And he has just dominated left-handers this year.
2-2 delivery, and that one's going to be fouled away.
Jorge's really fighting to find his timing here.
Yep.
I tell you, he's no quitter, though. He loves hitting.
Switch hitting catcher, of course, who's been so solid both at and behind the plate for this Yankee team. He's hitting .300 right-handed, 286 left, 3 home runs from each side of the plate. His 7th game back from the DL. And up high by Birkin, and he takes the count full, 3-2.
Well, the hairline fracture's on that right foot. I saw him walking down the tunnel today, and still limping a little bit. So that's the one you land on if you hit left-handed, and the one you push off of if you're hitting right-handed.
Here's the 3-2 delivery and the walk by Birkin. Time to text in your vote now for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are your candidates tonight. Sabathia going for his 6th win. The Strider's still on. For Tillman, only 1 earned run, 7 hits over 6. And for Robinson Cano, so far 3 for 4, 9 a run and an RBI. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 51862. And that will be it for Birkin. Birkin coming out of the ball game with Granderson coming to the plate. He worked an inning and a third, gave up 1 hit and 1 walk. Bill Oman in the bullpen up for the 2nd time will get the call this time. The Yankees have the 3-2 lead. Good ball game in the 8th. as this series finale is going to feature Jake Arrieta. He's going to take them out against A.J. Burnett. Our coverage on Masset HD 630 O's Extra, presented by your local Ford dealer, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on Masset. Jake Arrieta's Major League debut tomorrow night. Will Oman on.
Yeah, been a little bit of a struggle, even though, he's done a nice job for the Orioles. This will be his 30th appearance of the year. 7 earned runs last 4 appearances. The blown save on Sunday, the Orioles would come back, tie that game, and then win it in extra innings. So even though he blew the save, the Orioles were able to break their 9-game losing streak, I guess it was. So he'll come in to, Gardner comes in, as you mentioned, he hurt that left thumb that he hurt last year, broke it on a check swing. So he comes in because he's got great speed, 20 steals, only been caught 4 times.
3rd in the league in stolen bases. At first, Brett Gardner, the pinch runner. Curtis Granderson, sac fly, intentional walk, and he is flied out in the ball game against Will Oman. And Oman will make the throw over. Oman's 4th game against the Yankees. In the previous 3 games, he's worked 3 innings, no runs on a couple of hits this year.
Yeah, lefties hitting 200, righties at 310. Job is to get Granderson out, who got a couple of big hits last night, the grand slam, and then a hit off Henderson, another left-hander, single to center.
Granderson 0 for 4 off Will Oman. He's hitting 233 off lefties, 40 points higher off righties. Ball game up for grabs here in the 8th. Gardner extends his lead at first. Soft turf out there as we had some rain. It is drilled deep and a foul.
Well, he's got popped 30 home runs last year. And he generates some power.
Here's the grand slam he put out the other night. There was no question about that shot. It was way back in right field. He works here with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Granderson has 5 home runs he's hit lifetime in this ballpark. Long look over and the step off. Gardner just challenging Oman as he won't go back to the bag. Here's the 1-1. Down and away, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Granderson.
Not getting cheated.
No, he usually does it. Of course, that's how you strike out 140 times, 170 times.
Well, that's nothing. Mr. Reynolds set the record 2 years in a row, I think, with 220.
221 or something.
223 last year, yeah.
And he hit 40-some home runs last year.
All right. You start to think if you just cut down 100, what would happen?
But can you do that and still be aggressive? I mean, you would think that would be the answer.
Well, he's playing in Arizona. I would like to think he could still make some things happen. Just a different little approach with 2 strikes. That ball does travel in that state.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. Granderson went. And he's not going to argue about that. Home-plate umpire Jerry Davis on the call. Oman able to get the strikeout, and that's a big one there, 2 down. This summer, your kids can learn how to play like the pros from the pros. It's the official summer baseball camp of the O's. Kids 7 to 16, 5 days of training. Current former O's will be there. Junior Dugout Club membership, chance to play here at Camden Yards. Adam Jones will be at the summer's first camp in Westminster, June 21 through the 25th. For additional dates and locations, 410-472-3500 or Orioles.com.
Pretty nice breaking ball right there by Will Oman.
Oman gets Cervelli, runner at first base. And he went around, could not hold up. Strike 1.
Yeah, I just checked the book, Eddie. You struck out over 100 times one time your rookie year.
Oh, yeah, they broke that bottle of champagne on me, Lee May and Singleton. I'd never forget that. And I told them this is the last one on me. I think there's a couple of years I got it down to 40,
We're getting up almost 600 times a year.
Yeah.
And hitting for power.
That's when hitters cared about striking out.
Jim went to the book on me, huh?
Yes,
well, yeah, I did.
He did. 0-1 count. Gardner over there, still leaning, forcing Ullman to pay attention. There are 2 down here, though. Cervelli's 0 for 3. Lined out hard to short his second time up. A couple of fly ball outs.
Well, you got a veteran left-hander on the mound, and he knows that part of this offense, where Cervelli's a line drive hitter, is maybe not letting Gardner steal.
There he goes. Throw down by Wieters, a one-hopper. Good play by Lugo to make sure it doesn't go through. And Gardner gets the stolen base.
Yeah, he just goes on his first move, hopes he doesn't throw over there, and that's how you steal bases. 21 now out of 25, and he steals himself into scoring position.
He's behind Rajah Davis with 23. Juan Pierre's got 23, and Gardner now with 21. Elvis Andrus had been on top most of the year, the Texas shortstop. He's now 4th with 18. So now a big run with 2 down out there at second base. And Cervelli with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Cervelli's faced Ullman only 1 at bat, 1 for 1. Cervelli in a check swing again. They check, and a no. Sam Holbrook at first.
Well, I don't know if they'll pinch hit for Kevin Russo, who's on deck, but you got to be real careful when you have a guy hitting 452 at the plate, and then you have a rookie sitting on deck, and you have a 1-run lead or 1-run deficit. You got to make your pitch or pitch right around him.
Cervelli's really whacked the left-handers, 357 off lefties.
This is not a high percentage move pitching to Cervelli.
2-1 delivery, and a breaking ball gets in, and it'll be 2-2. Rain all around us. Philadelphia game was canceled. Mets game in New York was canceled today early. They call those ball games early. We had the light shower a heavy shower in the middle of the ball game, but it didn't last very long.
Well, there's a 75% chance of rain, and big storms forecasted here.
2-ball, 2-strike count. And Cervelli gets it up the middle. Here comes Gardner. He'll score, and it's a 4-2 ball game.
Yeah, you just couldn't have pitched to him. That was a big mistake. That's almost as bad as making the errors. You just cannot let him swing the bat.
Our 4th drive of the game.
Even if you pinch hit for Russo, you can't put Gardner in for defense unless you lose the DH spot. And by pitching to a guy that came in hitting 452, you said what, 357 against lefties? You just give them a chance to add to the lead, and they do it. They take advantage of it.
Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. And that will be it for Ullman. The run is charged to Birkin. Birkin gives up a run on a hit and a walk in an inning and a third. And with Mata, and you see how Mata bounced a couple, but A-Rod found. Mata could find the strike zone right on the paint. That's exactly what he did. As Mata was able to get A-Rod to ground out. That was in the 6th inning when the bases were loaded. Mata comes on again.
Yeah, and again, if the bullpen has struggled because of injuries or whatever, and you come in, get a big out, and it was a big out at that time, you're going to get a chance to come in. So another. And then that heavy sinker you talked about, Eddie.
Yep.
The ball had a lot of sink to it last night.
Well, I'm glad to see Tejada coming in even with the bag pretty much. Now he's starting to back up, but I wouldn't give this guy an opportunity to bunt on me.
Well, they're going to give you the bunt. You take it and let Jeter come up.
Russo has a bunt single, 1 for 3 in the ball game. He's popped out, flied out. Runner at first base, Cervelli. He got the RBI to extend the Yankee lead to 4-2.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like.
Runs.
Yeah, the one thing you don't like about Frank Mata, he gets one of those side-to-side stuff, and he can almost do a 180. I mean, he heads straight towards first base. You get synced that way, but it's very difficult to throw quality strikes.
Mata with a 2-0 count, 2 down. Oh, right in the middle of the bat.
I mean, he's going straight left. There's no way that you can stay behind your pitches. I mean, he missed by 3 feet. Maybe more.
Almost missed him.
Yeah, well, you're right. It's almost behind Kevin Russo.
Perhaps middle of the back was slightly premature to say. In that general region.
Cheeky.
Juan Samuel not smiling about what's gone on here. The Yankees got 2 runs in the 6th inning to get a lead. They've added another here in the 8th. And the ongoing problem of late runs by opponents in a ball game continues here, and the Yankees with a chance to add to it in the 8th inning. There are 2 down. Top of the order, Derek Jeter. He's singled. 1 for 4 in the game, extending his hit streak to 6.
So you got your setup guy to get to Rivera for the job of Chamberlain up, and they're just trying to add runs, make it easier.
There they are in the bullpen, job of Chamberlain. Jeter with 2 down takes a strike on the outside corner. Jeter's not hit well against the Orioles this season either. He's got 11 hits in 46 at bats, 3 RBIs, hitting about .230 against the Orioles on the season. 0-1, runners off first and second. Mata's pitch, slider away, 1 ball 1 strike count. The Yankees trying to extend their streak to 10 wins. 10 consecutive against the Orioles. 1 ball 1 strike delivery by Mata, and the breaking ball will miss down low. 2-1. The Orioles got the lead in this ball game with a run in the 2nd inning. 3rd inning they added another, made it 2-0, and then the Yankees started their comeback. That'll be foul back. And a 2 ball 2 strike count.
Going back to the conversation that I had with Derek Jeter, 309 lifetime hitter with runners in scoring position, 316 with 2 outs. And he said, I have no idea, which probably speaks volumes to the fact that he doesn't change his approach whether they're in scoring position. He just goes up and has quality at bats.
2-2 the count on him. Mata's delivery to Jeter, and that will be foul back.
Yeah, I'm not sure you want to hang around with the 82-mile-per-hour sliders in the middle of the plate, because you will speed up his bat.
He almost hit his foot with one of those early sinkers. It's a very tough pitch, but he's got to command it to get it in the strike zone, and I'll let him try and swing at one of those.
11 of the Orioles' 16 wins have come when they score first. They did in this game, but they are trailing now. Yeah. Jeter and Nuber to second base. Lugo will make this play.
That's a heavy sinker.
Got it. 1 run scores. RBI going to Cervelli, and the Yankees lead is now 4-2. meet and greet with the O's All-Stars, and a personalized All-Star batting practice jersey. Visit Orioles.com/All-Star for complete details. So the Yankees get it where they want it as far as their pitching situation is concerned. They have the 4-2 lead, 8th inning, and here's Java Chamberlain.
Yeah, and not outstanding numbers. I mean, he pitched on Sunday, gave up a run. Saturday, he didn't give up a run. The Orioles saw him last Thursday when the Orioles were up in New York. So, again, more hits than you would imagine. A lot of strikeouts because he's got the power slider. You know, the guy that tried to start last year actually pitched fairly well. Just never really figured out how to start. So a lot more comfortable. You know, last year was Hughes in this position. Now Hughes is 8-1, and Job has taken his place to get to Rivera.
Java Chamberlain will be facing Jones, Wieters, and Atkins here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. CC Sabathia has a chance to win his 6th of the year. He goes out 2 runs, 9 hits over 7, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. He's trying to go 4-0 this year against the Orioles and 13-1 lifetime.
Well, if he wins this game, it'll be because of the back end of the bullpen and the fact that he really made some great pitches. He didn't panic when he got behind early. He did exactly what you thought he would, which is settle down. And then the Orioles were unlucky with bad defense. At least Tillman was.
So Jones will come up against Chamberlain, against whom he's 2 for 9. RBI single, a walk and a run scored. 1 for 2 officially in the ball game for Adam, and he rocks that one to left. Russo over, diving, and makes an outstanding catch. Kevin Russo in left field, denying Jones an extra base hit.
Well, that is exactly why you never should have pitched to Cervelli, because you know Girardi is not taking Russo out of the game because of exactly that, his glove. When you have a 1-2 run lead, you want defense, and he pulls it off. So a horrible pitch, a great at bat by Jones, and it's just a loud out.
Mr. Utility right now for the Yankees in left field. Anything but utility on that. Here's Wieters. That's got an 0 for 3 in this ball game. And we'll take it for a strike.
Boy, how many games, teams that win, they make the plays, they get the big hits, make the big pitches, and the teams that lose, they don't make the big pitches, they don't make the plays. It doesn't change.
Nope. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Chamberlain facing the Orioles for the 6th time this year. He's got a couple of saves. 4 1/3 innings, no runs, and 1 hit. Lifetime, he's 2 wins, 2 saves. In this, the 18th game, including 3 as a starter against the Orioles. 1-1 delivery. Wieters on the fastball will take it. 1-2. The Yankees have outscored the Orioles now in this season series 65-29. ERA is almost double for the Oriole pitchers over the Yankees. Way up high, Chamberlain. 2-2.
That's why when you do get good starting pitching, when you do get good bullpen, in some respects, that's when you hope you're able to win. I mean, it's not over yet, but the Orioles could have had a lead at this point.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Chamberlain. Wieters will foul it off. Especially when the Orioles get on top. It's happened so infrequently early in the ball game. Without the mistakes, they had the early lead. Could have maintained it in the middle part of the ball game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wieters laces that right center field. Swisher going and not going to get it. That'll hit off the wall. Matt Wieters on his way to second base, and the Orioles will get the potential tying run to the plate here in the 8th.
Well, sometimes that's all you want is a chance. They have a chance to tie this game up here with a. That wasn't a bloop, but you got a chance here for that blast.
Well, what you got to like is the fact they've centered a couple of fastballs. You know, 94, but in the middle of the plate. What does he open up that front side? That left foot really gets open. You know, the Orioles, Jones hit it right on the nose. Wieters hits it right on the nose. So Matt now with 4 hits over the last 2 nights.
Corey Patterson is going to be the pinch hitter for Garrett Atkins.
Well, that's a good sign. A couple of the Oriole hitters, hitting the ball well back-to-back nights. Maybe they're putting it together here.
Patterson will come up against Chamberlain. He's 0 for 4 against him, as Corey will get back into action for the Orioles with this pinch hit appearance. He represents the potential tying run here in the bottom half of the 8th. Patterson has not had an at-bat as a pinch hitter. 3 home runs, 3 doubles, extra base hits, 85 at-bats on the year. 1 away, runner at second, and a strike taken by Patterson. Orioles here in the bottom of the 8th trying to make a run at Jabba Chamberlain and the Yankees. Patterson will take it away. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, a little different job at Chamberlain than, 3 years ago when he came up throwing 96, 97. Stuff just seemed a little bit more electric.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Wieters off second. Patterson will foul it off. A-Rod was not giving him the body. He was right on the grass at third. Now with a 1-2 count, will back up. Wieters manicuring a little.
And you know how they want to get Corey Patterson out, not throw him a strike, get him to chase.
1-2. And Patterson is gone. Chamberlain the strikeout. 2 down.
Yeah, snapdragon curveball, so maybe not throwing 97, but the breaking ball awfully good.
Now Scott Moore will pinch hit for Izturis with a runner on at second base. On Samuel going to the bench here. Moore's had a couple of at-bats as a pinch hitter. He's gone 0 for 2. On the season, only 22 at-bats. Extra base hit, a double. Moore against Chamberlain.
Well, a couple of hits on Sunday. First time he played third base this year for the Orioles. He's been mixed in at second base on occasion.
And the pitch is taken down low for a ball. So another chance at a 2-out RBI. And this time Scott Moore gets it against Chamberlain. 1-0 count with 2 down. 2-0. Juan Samuel getting these left-handers in against the right-handed Jabba Chamberlain in these pinch hitting roles. They'll play more towards left in the outfield. Big gap in right center. Here's the 2-0 delivery. Moore takes it. Chamberlain falls behind. 3-0. 94-mile-an-hour fastball on the last one. Lugo on deck. And the 3-0. It's for a strike. Girardi tries desperately not to have to use Mariano Rivera until that 9th inning in a save situation. Does not like to bring him on anymore, or with the 8th inning with 1 down or 2 down. He will once in a while, but does not prefer to go that way. 3-1 delivery on the way, and that grounded to second base. Cano makes the play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. 9th inning coming up at Camden Yards. 4-2 Yankees. Frank Mata came on to do the pitching in that last inning. He'll stay on here. Tillman charged with the 3 runs, 7 hits over 6. Birkin, 1 run, 1 hit, an inning and a third. Will Oman came on a third of an inning, a strikeout and a hit. And now Frank Mata trying to keep this at a 4-2 Yankee lead, top of the 9th. Nick Swisher leads it off. He has single walked, flied out, and grounded out.
Yeah, you would really like to be able to get a guy on in the 9th against Rivera and have a chance with 1 swing to tie it, and that's the only way that's going to happen if Mata does his job. And
he'll miss with that one for a ball. Brad Ferguson in the bullpen for the Orioles. 1-0 delivery, and Swisher will take that one, and the count goes to 2-0. Here's Rivera getting ready. A save situation, at least for the moment.
Pretty soon his age will match his number. A couple of years.
2-1. Sabathia, the pitcher, a record, and Tillman for the O's. Somewhere Jake Arrieta's watching this. He may be at the ballpark. They weren't going to make him available. I have no idea if he's up. I'm sure he's here in Baltimore. Fouled away. He'll make his major league debut tomorrow night.
Well, if he watched this game, he saw Chris Tillman pitch a whale of a game. You know, he challenged him. He tried to establish his breaking stuff early. Didn't. Then that came back. A little better defense. Might have even had a lead. Well, you learn something from watching a fellow AAA guy at the beginning of the year pitch. It's not quite as intimidating.
2-2 delivery.
Boy, he just has such a ability, Eddie, to let the ball travel.
Well, that's being comfortable right now. You know, you get in those zones every now and then, and boy, is it nice when you're there.
When you're not.
Yeah.
3-2 to Swisher. Mata.
There's that heavy sinker. Terrific 3-2 pitch.
Unbelievable movement there.
1 away, and here's Mike Teixeira in the 9th. Teixeira had a double his last time up and was stranded. The Orioles have left 10 on base in this game, and the Yankees 9. 6 of the 10 for the Orioles have been in scoring position. Mata waits while the shift is put on. Teixeira's had 4 hits in these first 2 games of the series. 4 for 8. Fouls that one straight back.
Well, now the defense has changed. He's not, at least he's not, Julio's now in short, but they're not playing way back on the outfield grass there because Teixeira has really busted his tail down the line on those ground balls he's hit there.
Well, Scott Moore has moved much closer at second base. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Again, foul back and a 2-strike count.
Well, I got to imagine, Eddie, when you played first, when you're playing in, you don't want a ball hitting on the lip if you're playing first base or second base or any infield position.
Absolutely.
You want to take that out of the equation. And we saw that happen.
You know, that's like to play when you're playing in. You know, every now and then you get the coaches and things from the dugout bringing you in, but they brought you right in the edge of the grass in the play, and it's like you're trying to tell them, you know, you want to back up 1 step, or there's a screaming line drive right there in the stands. But you want to be in a comfortable spot. Your position players have to be comfortable. I mean, or they'll set you up right into the track from first to second. And, you know, and all you think about now is a bad hop because of all the footprints there.
1 ball, 2-strike count on Teixeira, 1 away. Frank Mata's delivery to him in the dirt. The other teams in the division are completed here. Cleveland shut out Boston 11-0 tonight. Tampa Bay beat Toronto 10-1. So the Yankees, if they win, can stay 2 games behind, pick up a game on both the Red Sox and Toronto.
Well, that Cleveland game has a lot of interest. Buchholz has really been pitching well, pitched a complete game against the Orioles, but that was Masterson's first win of the year.
And here it goes to second. Moore is able to get to it, and an outstanding play. Scott Moore moving in. He's back where Lugo had been playing. There's no way that play gets made.
Yeah, just getting to this ball, and then look at the snap throw. It gives you the athleticism of a lot of infielders. Fast feet, good range, and then the strong, unorthodox throw on the money. Can't practice that play.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's Masters' first win of the year against his former team.
Now here's Rodriguez, and he'll be swinging for the long ball. Slider will miss outside. 51 lifetime home runs against the Orioles. 23 of them have been hit in this ballpark. 1-0 count, 2 down. We're in the top of the 9th inning. The Yankees have a 4-2 lead. Frank Mount on the mound for the Orioles. Inside to him. 2-0. 16,451. 16,451 the announced attendance here at Camden Yards. That is a fair ball, and it goes into the seats. It'll be a ground rule double. So Rodriguez right down the line gets his second hit of the ball game.
Yeah, 40th lifetime double against the O's. This is a BB. Will it stay fair? Ooh.
Very close.
Eddie, you always had the good eyes. Almost looked like
that
it was
past
foul.
tense, but
yeah.
And we're thinking about who's making the call. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, that's right.
He's much better at third.
Yeah.
Cano's going to get the intentional pass. This will put runners on at first and second. Brett Gardner came on as a pinch runner. Jorge Posada designated hitter role. He's not going to be able to hit with that bad hand, so Marcus Timms has come out in the on-deck circle to take the at-bat. And there's ball 4. So Cano is on. That's only the second intentional pass he's picked up on the year, which is kind of surprising. Runners on at first and second base. Marcus Timms coming up.
We should have had number 3 on Sunday when Cito Gaston pitched to him, but they didn't, and he got the game winner, so you got to pitch around him.
Timms 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter, but batting .300 overall. A couple of home runs, 10 RBIs, 4 doubles.
Yeah, you got to stay down against this guy. Great high ball hitter.
Fouls that one back. The Yankees have 2 on, 2 down, 9th inning. Another big double-digit night. Each team has picked up 10 hits in the game. We've had a lot of hits picked up here. 12-7 score last night. The Yankees coming away with a win in game 1. 0-1 delivery with 2 down. Timms in the air, center field. And that will do it. Yankees leave a couple on, so the Orioles will have the top of the order coming up. Bottom of the 9th inning, down by 2. the closer for the Yankees, will come on again and try and finish it off and add another one in that save column.
Well, if you got 539 lifetime, you can look right there. It doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. It doesn't give up a lot of hits. Can strike you out, but it's all about movement. And Eddie, you must have faced him.
Oh, I got him a couple of times. Little base hits here and there.
What's it like trying to hit that cutter?
Well, I, believe it or not, I was a little frustrated hitting off him because I got singles. I think I might be 5 for 6 off him or something like that. But when you know it's the same pitch, then it works on you. You don't want a one-pitch guy at that particular time to get you out, but here running on those knuckles, I dropped a few in center field. But I tell you, when I was a hitting instructor in Cleveland, our kids were so afraid of that cutter, the word cutter. I told them it's a slider. Look at that ball. What's the difference between that and the slider? And I tell you, we started beating him, and we put a few of those blown saves on him. And it was really amazing because we had some kids. But they were afraid of that word cutter, and, I mean, it was eating them up. I told them it's a slider.
So there's the secret.
Yeah, well, let's see if we can slide one in tonight.
Let's take a look at the AT&T voting so far. For the AT&T player of the game, very close. You still have time to vote. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 51862. Results in the O's Extra postgame show. Mariano Rivera.
He could be a little tougher now because he does use both sides of the plate. At one time, he only wanted the inside part.
Yeah, it does stay inside on the fastball, and there's the cutter, and he'll turn it over to the righties.
Mm-hmm.
Lugo leads it off. It'll be Tejada and then Marquez due up against Mariano Rivera. For Lugo, 3 for 16 lifetime off him. A-Rod's in at third. This year, Mariano Rivera has 2 saves against the Orioles. This is the 4th game he's appeared in. 3 innings, no runs, 1 hit. Lifetime 63 saves against the Orioles. That's 7 wins and 8 losses against the O's. In the air to center, Granderson. And that all-important first out.
Well, they're 32-0 leading after 8 innings. And you're looking at the guy right here. That in the back end of the bullpen. And he doesn't walk you. He holds runners well. With an occasional World Series appearances, he feels his position well. He does so many things that not to beat himself and do exactly what closers are supposed to do, which is close the deal.
1 down. Here's Tejada. Miguel Tejada trying to get on here. 6 for 24 off Rivera to try and get the potential tying run to the plate. Tejada in this ball game with that single came in the 5th inning, the 1 for 4. A-Rod stays in close to the grass at third, taken for a strike. Winner would be Sabathia. If the score stays, he'll go 6-3 and 13-1 lifetime against the Orioles. Tillman would take the loss and be 0-2 if the Orioles can't come back. And Rivera would get a save here if he finishes. 1-1 delivery. Tejada swinging through it. 1-2.
Well, that's the 2-seamer. All you do is hold it with the seams, stay on the left side of the ball, and the ball turns in. The cutter goes the other way. This one kind of makes a right turn, just down and out of the strike zone.
I think he's tougher at 40.
Yeah, well, he's got another pitch. He's had it about 3 or 4 years.
And Tejada is out number 2.
I mean, in 94, I hadn't seen him throw this hard in a couple of years. But not only that, but look at the location, right where the glove of Cervelli is. Hits the glove. Even if you don't get the swing, you're going to encourage the home plate umpire to make the call.
Against the Orioles, the winningest pitcher, Ollie Reynolds, 14-2. If Sabathia wins this, he's going to be 13-1 and become the second winningest pitcher against the O's. 2 down. And the pitch is inside. Nick Markakis, a double, a single, 2 for 4 in the ball game. Nick's got to get on to keep this game alive for the O's. 4 for 14 off Mariano. That pitch is a strike taken. Just in case it ends here. Eddie, great working with you again, and we're going to see you in San Diego.
Right.
The 3-game set.
Guys, it's been great working here. Jim, you making that trip?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay.
We foul back and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Well, Rivera.
You're going to have to work on your winning percentage, Eddie, though. That's the thing.
Well, I won't say anything to you guys about it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I'll take it back. Yeah.
1-2 delivery. Marquez puts it in the air. Center field, Granderson. And this game is in the books. As the Yankees have won the first two, there's the final line. 4-2 victory here in Game 2. Sabathia the winner, Tillman the loser, and Rivera the save. Join us again for the wrap-up of this series. Jake Arrieta will make his Major League debut tomorrow against A.J. Burnett. Our coverage on MASN HD begins at 6:30. O's Extra, presented by your local Ford dealer, followed by game coverage at 7. For Jim Palmer, I'm Theo Harris, and Eddie Murray. I'm Gary Thorne. We bid you adieu from Camden Yards. Yankees win at 4-2.